Hey, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Get Sweaty. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Matt, aka Soda. As usual, I'm joined by Ben Rayner, and I'm joined by Jordan Anderson. And we have, once again, gracing us, the official fifth Beatle of Get Sweaty, 50 Shades of Geek. How are you guys doing?
I would say I'm the 50th battle, but that's
Actually, I like that. It's kind of played because it plays in your name, the 50th Beatle. There you go.
Yeah, I'm doing great. Yeah, I'm kind of running on no sleep, but that's how my Sundays usually go. So it's like for a lot of people, it's their quiet day. It's actually like pretty much my busiest day of the week, but it's all right.
I didn't take my nap today, so I'm a little punchy.
Yeah.
How about you, Ben? How you doing?
doing all right. Good. I'm doing well. You're doing good.
Awesome.
So I don't know if you saw this or not, but we had a little bit of a graphic. Some breaking news happened today. Pretty devastating, man. 2020, just when you finally get something that a lot of people can rejoice in, the son of a bitch year has to punch you right in the gut. We got the word that Alex Trebek lost his battle with cancer this morning at age 80. He was diagnosed with stage 4. Was it colon cancer?
Yeah.
I think it was pancreatic.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
well, it was stage 4
pancreatic.
cancer nonetheless. And he's been fighting it for a few years now. And unfortunately, today he passed away peacefully, thank God, in his home surrounded by his family. He's an icon. He's definitely an icon up here in Canada, where I'm from, because he's Ottawa born and bred. He never forgot his roots. He got his start on the CBC, hosting shows on there, and you can actually find the clips on YouTube, and they're actually pretty entertaining to see a very young Alex Trebek in black and white. The dude was in millions of homes 5 days a week, hosting Jeopardy. His show was pretty much event watch for a lot of families. And I know there was a time when I'd visit my aunt and uncle, and we'd sit there and we'd actually play along. And, it was kind of fun when you're a young kid and you actually get a question right. Made you feel smart. What are your guys' thoughts on Alex Trebek?
First of all, before we see our piece, it was pancreatic cancer.
Okay. Thank you very much. I think I had colon cancer on the mind because of Chadwick.
Right.
Yeah,
for me, I was surprised, like how much he's actually done throughout his career. Because when I heard about his passing, I was at work, so I totally forgot that they actually have a little documentary that they put out that's on Amazon Prime. You can watch. That's called Game Makers, and Alex Trebek is the host of it, and he gets into some of his own personal life and some of the stuff that he's done early on in his career that builds all the way up to Jeopardy. But then also he goes and he interviews some of the most iconic game show hosts. You have like Chuck Woolery. He was the host of Hollywood Squares, and then you have Monty Hall. He was the original host of Let's Make a Deal. Then you also of course have Bob Barker. So I mean, but in my mind though, I think that as far as game show hosts get, that Alex Trebek was about as iconic as it gets. Like, I mean, he's really done a lot. I mean, he's hosted at least a dozen different game shows in his life. I was surprised. I didn't even know that. I've only known about maybe one or two. So yeah, I was pretty sad. Surprisingly, I don't really feel like I watch that many game shows, but apparently I do, because going back through what he's hosted, I mean, I recognize it, probably at least 75% of them, and so yeah, it's a pretty devastating loss for sure for the world, really.
So. Yeah. What about you guys?
Well, I can't say that I actually watched any Jeopardy in my lifetime, because obviously I live in Israel and we don't have a lot of American game shows broadcasted over here. We have our own game shows. To find the American game shows or from game shows from other countries, you're gonna have to find specific channels for that. But I mean, was he one of the first people to host game shows? Because
no, game shows have pretty much been around since the advent of television, but he's definitely one of the more iconic faces of game shows. He's up there with Bob Barker for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, but he kind of started a lot of these other game shows that weren't on television before he came along. I mean, am I correct in assuming that?
Sorry, could you say that again?
He was the first host that started a lot of game shows that weren't around before he hosted them. That was what I meant.
A little bit.
Yeah, kind of. Like, I mean, there was nothing like Jeopardy definitely before that. Most of the time, it was along the lines of you have to do something to win a prize. Those were the type of game shows. But yeah, he was definitely the first in this type of question answering game shows for sure.
Well, what I'm saying is, a lot of the Israeli game shows that I've seen, or maybe games that Israeli television kind of adapted into its own. A lot of the game show hosts really kind of live by his example. That's what I meant to say. What I was
Gotcha.
going
Gotcha. Yeah. So in that case, yeah. And what you think of as a game show host, he was one of the first.
Yeah. To actually to host a game show is not an easy task.
No.
And you have to keep everything entertaining while still, trying to run a smooth ship and all that. And I see a lot of game shows, especially in Israel, just rise and fall pretty quickly. I mean, I was even auditioning for a game show once a couple of years ago, and the show had maybe one or two episodes, and it just fell flat because they just couldn't. They didn't really know how to sell the show. So it really is, the host is the most important part of it, because even more important than the game, that's the one guy you see every time. He's the face of the game show. I mean, I can speak for myself. When you talk about a specific game show, you don't actually talk about what the game show is. You just know the show based on who the host is. Mm-hmm. So, like, that's how you recognize a show in your mind. So, I haven't really watched a lot of Alex Trebek game shows. Maybe one or two clips on YouTube and like some Watch Mojo videos or stuff. But I know that what he did was not an easy task, and he's definitely an icon for a lot of Americans, and I'm assuming also Canadian.
For sure. So, like I said before, he's definitely one of the more famous people to come out of Canada, and we've got a lot of famous people.
Yeah, and there's
what I was saying. He's the face of the game show.
Yeah, for sure. Like if you were to put around Mount Rushmore out there, he's definitely on there.
And there's very few game shows that have really stood the test of time that Jeopardy really has. I mean, really, like there's only just a couple of the ones I can think. Maybe like Wheel of Fortune, The Price is Right, and maybe Let's Make a Deal. Like I don't really know too many more that really lasted like 30 plus years. Like that's just So that's just.
What are your thoughts on Alex Trebek's passing, Ben?
Is everything all right?
He, like you said, he's iconic. He's one of the OG hosts. Everyone
just froze. Is it?
That's all you, 50.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anyone frozen. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I guess my internet is just having problems again.
All right, sorry, Ben. Keep going.
He's iconic, and it's weird. Right before I found out this morning, I was watching an old SNL clip of Celebrity Jeopardy with Will Ferrell hosting as Alex Trebek. And it was actually the one where the real Alex Trebek pops up at the end. So then as that clip was ending, I found out the news. And it was surreal. Good for him for fighting cancer this long. I mean, do you think he continued to hold even when he was sick?
And the thing about game shows is they don't record an episode in a day. They usually do like 5.
Right.
Wow. And he was doing that while battling cancer at his age. And right before he passed, I think he completed his autobiography. And it's come out that he says in there that there are times during his battle he felt like giving up. But man, kudos to him to keep fighting as long as he did to age 80.
And to keep working until the very end,
And they also announced that the final Alex Trebek episode of Jeopardy is going to air on Christmas Day.
Okay, nice. It'll be a nice Christmas present for us.
Yeah,
right there.
Awesome. Last week for the world.
Pretty much. So condolences to the family of Mr. Trebek. He will be sorely missed by everybody in the world. His death was one of those ones where I did not see one bad thing said about him.
No.
From all accounts, he was a good guy. He was definitely a great and proud Canadian. Supported everything from here. Massive hockey fan. So yeah, condolences to his family. And as the tweet of God posted, he's already up in heaven right now hosting trivia nights. So
Yep.
I know he's having fun on the other side. So may you rest in peace, Mr. Trebek, and so long.
Yes.
And on that note, Jordan, if you wouldn't mind taking over the entertainment section, please.
Yeah. So we'll start out with the news that and it's a little bit of a spoiler. So if anyone doesn't want to be spoiled, some spoiler about the new upcoming WandaVision series, it's just a real minor spoiler. So if you don't want to see it, just I'd say come back in like 5 minutes or so. And
we'll do the Screen Junkies trick. We'll wave our arms when we're done talking.
Yeah, right. Do that. Yes. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So spoiler talk time. But yeah. So there's a little bit of a leak that came out about WandaVision through some pop figures, and we got one of the pop figures that revealed the return of Quicksilver. So Quicksilver is coming back. I don't know exactly how he's coming back. I kind of feel like they're probably not going to resurrect him. Maybe it could be from like an alternate timeline, or it could be something.
In mind, man, WandaVision is her imagination.
Right. Yeah. So like it also could be a part of that. That's where I was going next with it. So it could be that, and then also with that news, it actually came out that it's going to be actually Evan Peters playing Quicksilver.
Really?
Yeah, from X-Men. So, which is like really curious. Like, I think that one kind of had me scratching my head a little bit. But like for me personally, I mean, I am kind of happy, kind of not. Like, I actually think that Evan Peters is an actor that I enjoy on screen a lot more. So, I mean, I'm actually fine with that bit of news. But I mean, I'm not really sure like what they're gonna do, where they're gonna go with it. But yeah. So I think Quicksilver will be back, and it'll be Evan Peters playing him. So I was just gonna see.
So based on that, I have a sneaking suspicion that's going to be an alternate reality thing, not her imagination. Because if it was her imagination, it would be Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Right, and also too, it might be a good way to introduce some of the X-Men. Possibly, like, are we going to see any other X-Men characters pop up from that universe? I mean, it's certainly possible. So
maybe,
yeah. But what are you guys' thoughts? How about Ben? Ben, what do you think of this news?
You didn't see that coming?
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Don't apologize.
Yeah.
Are you sure you're not Canadian? You're always apologizing.
Maybe I am. I don't know.
A little too friendly.
No. I like the news. I wish it wasn't spoiled. I don't know if I 100% believe it either. It's curious to hear it's Evan Peters and not Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yeah.
I don't know if I really believe it or not. I mean, I'll be honest, I like the Evan Peters Quicksilver much more than I did the Aaron Taylor Johnson one. I just felt Evan got the character more. But if this is true, I'm happy. I can't wait to see it. I don't think we're going to get any more of the Fox X-Men. Yeah, I don't know. I just see Evan Peters. I don't see anyone else popping up.
How about you, 50?
Well, see, here's the funny thing, because I watched the John Campea show this week, and he pretty much said outright that it's not Evan Peters playing Quicksilver. It's just Evan Peters was cast in the show weeks and months before this leak came out.
Okay.
Because it was revealed through, I believe it's a Funko Pop figure, that Quicksilver was going to be in WandaVision. People just went with the assumption that Evan Peters is playing Quicksilver, not Aaron Taylor Johnson, because that one makes more sense to me. But I mean, we live in a world where, I mean, Jamie Foxx is coming back as Electro, so it's not a possibility that it's Evan Peters. Just, I think for the MCU, it would be more consistent if it was the Aaron Taylor Johnson version. And to be quite honest with you, like other people, I prefer the Evan Peters version over the Aaron Taylor Johnson, but mostly because Aaron Taylor Johnson didn't really get a lot to do. I mean, he was in a very quick post-credit scene in Captain America 2, and then he was in Age of Ultron, specifically there just to die, just so people can say, oh, look, people can die in the MCU.
Right.
It's not the fake death universe where people just die and come back. But, I mean, well, this kind of throws a wrench into that theory. But I don't know which of the two is playing them. I would be fine with either one because I liked both versions. But the thing is, why I want the Aaron Taylor Johnson one to be the one that actually plays him is because I want to see more of that character. We didn't really get to see too much of Aaron Taylor Johnson's Quicksilver. We got to see a lot of Evan Peters' Quicksilver, and it was awesome. I just think there's more to do with that character in that universe that was set up in Age of Ultron. And also, to go back to your point there, Jordan, as a way to introduce the X-Men, I don't know if that's the way because, first of all, Kevin Feige said multiple times that he's already got the next 5 years of the MCU planned. You don't even get to see any of that 5 years because of COVID. It was supposed to start this year. And so he's still got like 5 stories all the way up to 2025 or 2026 planned before he's even going to start thinking about the X-Men. So to just throw the X-Men into this WandaVision show, I think will be a bit of a rush decision on his part. And Kevin Feige doesn't really strike me as the guy to do that. But I mean, I'd love to see the X-Men now, but also Evan Peters was a casting decision that he did not spearhead. He didn't. It wasn't his casting choice. I mean, he's sort of in charge of all the casting of all the MCU movies, and the X-Men movies were the ones that he wasn't in charge of. So I don't know if he would want a character from a different franchise in his franchise. It's like the MCU is like his sandbox. He likes to play with his own toys. He doesn't like to borrow toys from other people. So that's what I think about this whole situation.
So here's how I feel about that. Kevin Feige could possibly be playing us because I know that there were 2 versions of Civil War scripts out there, one with and one without Spider-Man, in case that deal fell through. So I mean, there always was, because you got to understand these deals, like what happened between Fox and Marvel, were happening long before we even got wind of it. So I mean, he probably knew for a long time that there was a possibility that they could get X-Men and Fantastic Four. So I believe that there were 2 versions of those scripts, one with the X-Men or Fantastic Four, one without. So that way they wouldn't be caught off guard. Now, when it comes to this spoiler thing, normally I don't mind spoilers. Like for me, it's okay if a spoiler thing comes out and then spoiler, that's fine. But when it comes to using your marketing for spoilers, it is the dumbest thing you could ever do. It's not going to increase people. Like, I mean, this is the MCU we're talking about. People are going to watch it no matter what. So why didn't you just wait to reveal Quicksilver on the show and then market it?
Right.
Now there's no surprise. Like for me, like the first time I truly noticed this was Captain America Civil War, when the Lego set spoiled that Ant-Man was going to become Gigantic Man. That would have been something cool to have revealed right there on the screen for you.
I think that's why they waited on the Baby Yoda too to release Baby Yoda merchandise. They didn't want to spoil it.
Yeah, and Baby Groot. Yep, and exactly. Probably the worst offender of this was Terminator Genesis, when they spoiled that John Connor was the villain in the fucking trailer.
Right.
Can I add something real quick, Matt? Something about the Terminator franchise? If you go back to T2's trailer, they spoiled Arnold was a good guy all the way back in that original trailer. So the Terminator franchise has been doing this way before Genesis.
Yeah, okay, that is a fair point, but when Arnold Schwarzenegger is the star of your movie, you kind of figured he would be the villain, the hero in the second one, right? Because, I mean, was the big star. At that point in his career, he was not playing villains.
Yeah, I guess.
And it's a little different when you've got a character that like John Connor, who's constantly being established as the savior of the world. He is the leader of the revolution, and then all of a sudden in your trailer, no, he's a bad guy. He's a Terminator. It's just like you could have saved that for your movie.
Right.
Okay, fair
There goes your
point.
plot twist.
Yeah. Yeah, just if you're going to market something, market it so people want to go see it without giving away your hand.
Yeah.
Fair point.
And like I said, MCU does not need to do that. They should be smarter than that. I get you want to sell your toys, but sell the toys or whatever of what people know is coming, and then after the show drops, then you release the Quicksilver toys.
I have something to say about that. First of all, they didn't release it; it was a leak.
Well,
Wasn't
okay,
it?
no, fair enough, but you know what I'm getting at, because it has happened in the past.
Yeah, but here's another thing I have to say. I don't think that the people who run the MCU marketing, I don't think they're specifically in charge of when to release toys.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Also, hold on, I had something else on my mind. Not only that they're not in charge of it. Shh, damn it! I forgot what I was going to say about it. But yeah, first of all, it was a leak, like I said, and also they're not in charge of it. And also, I remembered it. First, another thing, this show wasn't supposed to be delayed as long as it did. It was supposed to already have come out, and the people who run the toys part of this whole thing, they have toys ready to go and nothing to do with it. So like. A lot of the toys from the Black Widow movie, the Lego sets, are coming out right now because they've been sitting on it for a while, and the movie was supposed to come out months ago.
Yeah, but those sets would have come out before the original release of the movie.
They released the Comic-Con exclusive Lego sets that were supposed to come out in Comic-Con after the movie came out. But because the movie didn't come out, Comic-Con happened virtually. They had nowhere to release those exclusive sets, so they just started selling them on Amazon. So like toys and movie marketing are two completely separate divisions, and that's why I think we got those leaks now, because they thought that by now we already seen.
Fair enough.
We were supposed to see the Falcon and Winter Soldier show first. Then obviously they shut it down for COVID reasons, and they switched up the whole thing around. Now Falcon and Winter Soldier is coming out after WandaVision. WandaVision comes out first. So it was a jarbled mess. It was a jarbled mess, and that's why I think the toy leaks happened now as opposed to closer to when the show was released.
Fair enough, but from that standpoint, what would you rather do? Would you rather throw all your eggs in the basket at the same time and release the product, or in this, because whatever? That's what talking from the toy company perspective. Would you rather release the products all at once, make your money that way, or would you rather say, here's your first batch of toys, and then whatever happens in the show happens, and then all of a sudden, hey, look, here's phase 2 of our toys, and we have the new character that you're looking for, and then you make even more money. That's the way I think it should be done.
By your logic, I think they have more surprises than just Quicksilver.
I would hope so. I would hope so.
Yeah.
Quicksilver's still.
I mean, first of all, let me just say this: a lot of people were speculating that Quicksilver was going to show up before the toy leaks happened. Okay, let's not pretend that nobody thought it was going. Let's not pretend it was hide to anyone. My question is, what other characters are they hiding? And if they're giving us the Quicksilver character now, what do they have up their sleeves? That's what I'm worried about. And also, I wanted to say this earlier, but I forgot about it. I watched the Winston Marshall's Inner Geekdom show earlier this week. Something popped into my head. Do you think that WandaVision's reality zone thing is amplified by the reality stone in some capacity?
Possibly.
Or maybe the mind stone, because it was in Vision's head?
Well, what was the stone that gave her powers? That was the Tesseract, no?
It was the Mind Stone.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I think it was the Mind Stone. Yeah, and I think we're just finally seeing like the scope of the full powers WandaVision actually has. 'Cause in the comic book, it was like the Scarlet Witch just is kind of like sort of like an ancillary character that didn't really have very powerful powers, but in the comic book out of nowhere, like there's a certain point where they just started giving her massive amounts of power, and then they had the whole House of M that supposedly the WandaVision is going to be based off of it. I hope that's what it looks like. But yeah. So then we finally got to see the full scale of her power. So I think we're just now seeing like the full scale what she can actually do.
Well, I guess it comes down to it. My whole thing is I don't like seeing spoilers before the product comes out. I really don't. I like to see more surprises happen as you're watching it. That's the way I prefer it. Personally.
Sometimes they release products like toys that almost, well, 80% of the time they are actually in the property, but sometimes they release products that are just to sell toys, and they aren't actually in the like a lot of the Lego sets. Going back to Lego again, a lot of the Lego sets from Iron Man 3 looked like spoilers, but they ended up being completely not in the movie. Like they had vehicles and characters that just weren't in the movie. So I wouldn't take. First of all, at this point, I'd say that it's considered a spoiler until the movie comes out, and then you make your own decision over whether or not it was actually spoiling something. Because there have been a lot of examples. I mean, I can't think of anything right now, but a lot of times people claimed certain things were spoilers, and then the movie came out, and we found out that no, it was actually not a spoiler. It was just a random thing that happened, and they just chose to show it ahead of time.
I'll put the pot lid back on my rant, and I'll turn the heat down on low and let it simmer until the show comes out.
Yeah, right. And like for me, I just kind of wonder how much these toy companies really pay attention to like whether or not something actually is a spoiler, because like they probably
probably not, because they're more considerate about the money.
Right? And like they probably just have a list of all the different toys that they're supposed to release, and it's like, well, like this is the slate of the upcoming toys, so this is when we're supposed to release them, so we're just gonna release them, we're just gonna put them out there, and then all of a sudden they get a phone call, they're like, wait, do not release that, like that's a spoiler, like you need to take that down. And so I don't know, like how much of it was an actual leak, or they're just calling it a leak, or was it an accident on someone's part, or like was it just someone who just had no idea that like what they were doing was even a spoiler or not? I don't know. So, but
a lot of the time, these toy companies get designs and concept arts a year before the property comes out, so they have enough time to work on the toys and have them ready to be released by the property comes out. And so that's why there weren't any Baby Yoda toys as soon as Mandalorian started, because they just straight up didn't tell them they didn't tell them they have a Baby Yoda on the show. That's why they were able to keep it a secret.
Yeah. And then that also could tie into what you said earlier about the Iron Man 3 Lego, how there was a lot of stuff that was released that wasn't actually a movie. Well, based on that, they're getting things like a year or so in advance. Maybe that was originally part of the movie, and then it got cut at some other point, and that's why it's completely different.
Yeah.
Because I know that's what happens with novelizations, whatever. They don't get the final shooting script. They get an earlier draft as a script. That's why there's things in there that you don't see in the movie.
Yeah. Going back to tying two conversations we had together, that's why they didn't have Spider-Man in the Lego Civil War set.
Because nobody knew
to have Spider-Man in it or not.
Right. Yeah, because if I'm not mistaken, I think that one was like right down to the last minute. They weren't quite sure.
And they actually released a special set, which was about a year after the movie came out. They released a special set that had Spider-Man in it. Kind of like to say, oh, look, we forgot this character. We didn't forget this character. Here he was. We just didn't know about it at the time.
Yeah. Truth be told, I'm still excited for WandaVision because it's MCU. To me, the MCU can do no wrong. I'm going to watch it no matter what. But it's like, come on, guys.
Yeah, it makes sense that they're going to have Quicksilver in this series, because I mean, if you know anything about the House of M story, Quicksilver is like one of the main characters. He's a huge part of that storyline. So I mean, if it's going to be House of M, then I mean, you got to have Quicksilver. Like I don't even see how you really can, unless they pull an X-Men Days of a future past and it's only like swap out a Kitty Pryde for a Wolverine type of thing, and they switch it for one character.
Here's also the thing, though. Like pretty much what WandaVision is her trying to deal with her grief over the loss of Vision. Now, who was her biggest source of grief before that? It was the death of her brother Quicksilver. So that's probably why he would be in here, is her trying to deal with her grief over him.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I have something to say real quick. I'm sorry. Evan Peters, Quicksilver, he's a mutant.
Yeah.
Evan Taylor Johnson, not a mutant. So, does that change anything for anyone here?
Not really, unless it's the alternate reality thing. I don't think it would even change anything.
Yeah. Or they just didn't really say that Aaron Taylor Johnson was a mutant, because I think technically Marvel
At the time, you couldn't use the term mutants. That's why they call them
enhanced. They can't even use the term mutant. Yeah, that term belonged to Fox for a while, but not anymore.
Yeah, well, honestly, we'll just have to wait and see. This is all speculation. For all we know, it'll be a different Quicksilver. Like who knows, right?
Yeah. Yep. You never
So
know who you see.
Maybe it's one of Quicksilver, but Evan Peters is playing him. And that
who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. Like I said, right?
Hold on. Maybe that's why she appears in the Doctor Strange movie, because it's all about the multiverse. Maybe she sees an alternate version of Quicksilver. She doesn't know. She knows it's Quicksilver, but it doesn't look like the Quicksilver she knows. So she goes to ask Doctor Strange for help.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And truthfully, this could be the precursor to bringing, if they were to use Doctor Strange as a way to bring in X-Men and stuff. So
we'll see.
This could be a little bit of a soupçon.
Yeah. The more we talk about it, the more I'm starting to think that Quicksilver is only going to be there for one episode.
Probably.
Most likely. Yeah.
Probably. All right, Jordan, what's next on the list?
All right. So next we got the news that Vince Vaugn, he confirmed that he's in talks for doing Wedding Crashers 2. So he said that they're in some very early talks. There's a little quote here from Entertainment. I want to say there's Entertainment Weekly where it came from, but it said, he says, Owen and I and the director of Crashers have been talking for the first time seriously about a sequel to that movie. So there's been an idea that's pretty good. So we're talking about that in the very early stages. So I mean, for me, I would love to see it. Another Wedding Crasher. That's a movie that I love that just kind of sort of fell off my radar as one of my favorite comedies for the time that it came out. And so I feel like there's certain comedies in that genre that I kind of think, oh, you don't really need a sequel, and really you don't need a sequel to Wedding Crashers. But I mean, I'd certainly be going out to the theater pretty quick to go see it, or wherever it's released on demand, or wherever it's going to be. I mean, I'd be excited to see it. But what do you guys think? Is this something that even interests you guys? Or
I'm hesitant. Like, personally, I haven't seen the first one since theaters, but that's for more personal reasons. I broke up with my girlfriend all along afterwards, and I kind of tied the two together. But I'm kind of hesitant because not all sequels to comedies that come out years and years after the first one are any good.
Yeah, the comedies
I'm hesitant.
Are a tough one.
Like Anchorman 2, Zoolander 2, and I know it was on your list last week, but I mean, Dumb and Dumber 2 wasn't the best.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, it's a tough hill to battle to try to capture that lightning in a bottle again.
But Bill and Ted, though, that one actually turned out pretty good.
That's one of the rare ones.
Yep.
The exception, not the rule.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Exception, not the rule. What are your guys' thoughts?
Oh no. I think it's too late. Excuse me. I really like Wedding Crashers. It came out the same year as 40-Year-Old Virgin. For some reason, I think 40-Year-Old Virgin is talked about more. But Wedding Crashers is almost just as funny, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I think it's too late. What else can you say about these two guys? They ended up with, one is married, and one was, I mean, I guess you can do the I'm getting married now route, but I don't know. I guess I will see it, but not high on my list.
What about you, 50?
Well, I haven't actually seen Wedding Crashers. I'm not really the demographic type. I'm not really the rom-coms person, but I mean, it's not something that I would be opposed to watching it. It's just really not my thing. But I guess I could just watch the movie as soon as we're done with this with the show. But going back to what Ben just said, maybe the first one was all about one guy getting married. Maybe it's maybe for the second one they just go the direction of, okay, now we're married. What happens now? After that, or maybe one of them got a divorce, or maybe they're getting another wedding, or maybe there's a third guy that just
Yep.
getting married, and it's all about his wedding, and they have like flashbacks for when they got married, and they're again, I haven't seen the movie, so I don't even know what I'm talking about. But
well, they could go that route, but what actually has popped in my head was kind of doing like a soft reboot. Hey, Jay Wade, how's it going, my man?
He can't see me.
Nice. Yeah, she was pretty damn good in that movie. No, I was going to say, I could, because it's been 15 years since the first one came out, you could fudge the timeline a little bit and have it so the daughter of Vince Vaughn's character is the one who's getting married, and now the Wedding Crashers have to deal with the new generation of Wedding Crashers.
Because weddings now are a little bit different than weddings back then.
Yeah, so, and I mean, they kind of did that movie already called Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates, but I mean, it'd be interesting to see that from that perspective, whereas the old guard Wedding Crashers has to deal with the next generation of Wedding Crashers. And bring back Will Ferrell, and he could be the new guys as mentors.
Right. There you go.
Make it a generational thing.
50. It's not a typical rom-com. It's something else. It's not a stereotypical rom-com.
Yeah, it's kind of dirty, actually. Yeah.
Look at straight up comedy. I kind of feel like.
I was a 40-year-old virgin.
It's not as dirty as 40-Year-Old Virgin, but it's I'd say it's in the middle ground.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I will.
Yeah. It's been a movie for the last few years. I've been thinking about watching it, but it's like I said, I've always got that memory tied to it, so I'm a little hesitant.
Yeah. Yeah, that would make me a little hesitant too.
Go for it,
Yeah. Maybe I just have to bite the bullet and watch it.
It's like I always say, I mean, when I see people going into a swimming pool and they just go on the steps and just going really, really slowly, I always say, look, no matter how you're going to measure it, the water's always going to be cold the first time.
Yeah.
Just jump into it and then worry about it later. That's what I do.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. I got a few hours after we're done here before I got to play D&D tonight, so I might watch it.
Yeah, because for me, I'm just kind of excited to see Vince Vaughn return to comedy because, I mean, he's tried doing some dramatic roles and, like, I think he was okay in them, but, like, he hasn't really done anything that's really blown me away dramatically, so I just kind of want to see him return to comedy, honestly.
Dude, he was great in Hacksaw Ridge.
Oh, yeah. Was he, like, the drill instructor? Like,
yeah, he was the drill sergeant.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That one he was actually pretty good. And actually wasn't too bad in Fighting with My Family either. That was another one.
No, that was another great one. He definitely has a chop for it, but I agree. I would love to see him back in comedy because, man, he was a part of some classics, old school, Wedding Crashers, Dodgeball.
Yeah.
Dodgeball.
Yep, sir.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. All right, so what's next there, Jordan?
All right, so we have Johnny Depp putting out this letter on his Instagram, pretty much saying that he's essentially been fired from Fantastic Beasts. Now, I don't know if he was actually fired or if it was like a mutual separation, or if he was, or like how it all went down. But I just took a little excerpt from his letter. He said, I wish to let you know that I have been asked to resign by Warner Brothers for my role as Grindelwald in Fantastic Beasts, and I've respected and agreed to that request. So basically, I think it just has to do with a lot of the drama surrounding him and Amber Heard. Like, there's just been some crazy stuff going on, and like, who's to say what's actually true? I have my own opinions. I'm not going to get into that on here, but like, I just think that like because of that, I think that like maybe Warner Brothers wants to distance themselves a little bit, or at least in that role. But you never know, because like I wasn't a huge fan. Actually, for me, I actually hate Fantastic Beasts. I thought that, like, especially the second movie, I was like totally confused the entire time. I had no idea what was even happening. Like, I thought like it was just an awful trash, like, dumpster fire for me. Like, I just did not
come out of that movie. I felt like Charlie and It's Always Sunny in Pennsylvania trying to figure out who Pepe Silva was.
Yeah, right.
That's how I felt coming out of that movie.
Yeah, seriously, like I just left that so confused that like maybe I need to watch it one more time to kind of get a little bit of a better grasp. I don't know if I want to go through that trauma again watching that movie. But yeah, so I mean, Johnny Depp's not going to be back, so I mean, I don't know. I haven't really kept up with the news on that if they're going to continue with that series. I really hope honestly that they're going to do a series on HBO Max is what I'm really hoping for. I don't know why they haven't announced any kind of Harry Potter stuff yet, but I feel like that's something that is like we're going to hear about sometime in the next few years. I feel like. But yeah, what do you guys think?
To go back to what he said, basically, it actually was because of the Amber Heard thing. Because I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, he lost a ruling in London, so that was in the headlines again. So that's what played a part into them asking him to step down, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. What do you guys think?
I don't have one opinion one way or another. Like they've cast major roles before. I mean, that is essentially the world we live in. You screw up, you're out.
Yep. Seriously.
Yeah.
And right now, like things are even more tense and sensitive than ever. You really gotta like kind of watch yourself in these times.
Mm-hmm.
How about you guys?
Well, I liked Fantastic Beasts. I'm a Fantastic Beasts fan.
Okay. First one was better than the second one, but that's not saying much.
Definitely, yes. Definitely. The first one was really good. I rewatched the second one a while ago because my mom hadn't seen it and she really wanted to see it. I want to say this. It's not as bad as people say it is. Mm-hmm. Okay? I mean, it's not good. Right. But it's also not quite as bad as people think it is. To be honest, me and my mom, we were watching it. She was watching it for the first time. I was watching it for the third time. It was actually a pretty fun and entertaining movie until right close to the end where they got into the whole I'm going to kill him because his father stole my mother and his sister and he's my brother and he's the sister of the brother and he's the brother.
Yeah.
And then
it gets so confusing. You're like, what?
Wait, why did Genie go with Grindelwald? That makes no sense.
Yeah.
The Genie part makes sense to me, but that's a much longer conversation that we don't have time for it. But
no, I actually would like to hear your thoughts on that after the show.
Because she's a woman that lives in a world where she can't love the person that she loves, all right, which is Jacob, all right?
Yeah.
Jacob, but she's not allowed to love him because he's a nomad and she's the wizard, and they're not allowed to have. So it's basically like an interracial couple. Think of it as like in the 60s where a white person couldn't marry a black person.
Yeah.
So they had a separation, and Grindelwald is like this guy that kind of offers up a whole new reality, and hey, we don't have to adhere to the rules of what the magical society tells us to do. Right? If you want to marry a nomad, go ahead, marry a nomad. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you're a person, he's the person, you both love each other. Go ahead and marry him. Who the hell cares if you're magical and he's not? You know, so he opens her eyes and he kind of shows her a new light and a new reality that maybe things can be different if she follows his rule. That's kind of the world that he's trying to create, a world that's very different from the rules of society as they currently are. And that's why I think she prefers to go with him, because she wants to be free. She doesn't want to be constrained to the rules of reality. And also, let's not forget, she's also an empath. She can read people's minds, sort of, their feelings. So all her life, she's kind of been, and she has a sister that's kind of more strict, and she's kind of following the rules at all times. And she doesn't like that. She doesn't like to be confined and chained up like a trapped bird. She wants to break out like a phoenix, so to speak. Just be free and just do what she wants to do. And Grindelwald is one of the rare few people that actually can show her how to do that. So that's what she went with him. That's why she sided with him.
Okay, when you compare it to an interracial couple, yeah, okay, you do. It actually does make sense. I just think it wasn't properly executed.
Sure, but I got them. It's like the Martha scene in Batman vs Superman.
Yeah, okay.
The point, but the execution was not the best. Anyways, so I was saying it was a mostly okay movie until they got into the whole confusing family stuff, and at the end, it didn't really matter because it turns out all that story, throw it in the garbage. He's actually Dumbledore's brother, which is a completely new thing. That it's a complete retcon. But I don't really consider it a retcon. It was just something we didn't know about it. Something that, because it's well documented in the books that Dumbledore wasn't a good man at first. He wasn't the holy.
He was flawed.
Yeah. He wasn't exactly the person we painted him to be, because he was the kind, wise old man. He wasn't like that in his younger years. So he had a lot of things that he kept a secret, like he resulted in the death of his sister, I believe, and something happened with his mother. It was his fault. He was a very bad man at first. It would kind of force him to change his ways. Mm-hmm. So it makes sense that he would try to hide something like another brother that he had that nobody really knew about. And that's why nobody knew about it. By the time the Harry Potter movies came along, that's why nobody heard of Aurelius Dumbledore. They only knew about Aberforth Dumbledore.
And the sister. Well,
yeah, the sister. So, like, when I saw it the first time in the movie theater, there was this one fangirl who was just devastated. He was actually like, "No, Dumbledore doesn't have another brother. He only has one brother and a sister. This is wrong. I can't do that." Like, calm down. It's a movie.
There was a lot of people who were saying that.
Yeah, but going back to the Johnny Depp situation, I don't know how we got into the conversation about Dumbledore, but going back to the Johnny Depp situation, I think they just did the smart decision. Mm-hmm. They know that this whole conversation with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, it's a messy situation, and they do not want to be associated with it. For some reason, they want to be they don't have problems being associated with Ezra Miller, but that's a different thing altogether.
Well, and actually with Amber Heard, because she's not been let go from Aquaman,
and she's Aquaman, yeah. But I wouldn't be surprised if we get the announcement pretty soon that she's going to leave Aquaman as well, mm-hmm. because of the situation. Look, as far as the Amber Heard versus Johnny Depp, I'm not going to get into it. I'm just like Obi-Wan says, I'm not brave enough for politics. All right, one person says one thing, the other person says another, because it kind of seems funny to me that I believe she was the first to accuse Johnny Depp of beating her, and then everyone jumped on the Johnny Depp train, and they just started yelling at him, and the tweets and stuff, and they tweeted at Warner Brothers and J.K. Rowling. They said, "You should fire him. How could you hire this guy for your movie, for your franchise? You're doing it wrong. This is bad. That blah 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 for months, if not a full year." And then a separate story came out that maybe it was actually Amber Heard who wasn't the victim. It was actually Johnny Depp who was the victim, and she actually beat herself up to kind of lie about it, and she blamed Johnny Depp. And then everybody jumped on her and started just blaming her, and they talked about to Warner Brothers, how dare you keep her as Mara? You should fire her from Aquaman. That's one of the main problems of this cancel culture we live in. Everyone just believes a small sentence in a paragraph and then just run with it. So first they all jumped on the Johnny Depp train, then they all jumped on the Amber Heard train, and now they're all just nobody knows which way to go. So I'm not going to I don't have my opinions on it. I mean, I have my opinions on it, but I'm not going to share them because it's a messy situation, and I do not want to touch that situation with a dirty half of a broom.
And also, it's their personal lives. It's none of our business.
So I'm not going to touch it, but I guess Warner Brothers, they don't want to touch it either. They're going the same approach that I want to do. Okay? They know it's a messy situation. They're cutting off ties with Johnny Depp. I wouldn't be surprised if sometime soon they will cut ties with Amber Heard as well. Mm-hmm. They probably should also do the same with Ezra Miller, but that's a different conversation.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if like maybe just like a temporary thing. They're like, all right, you go sort your personal life out, just get everything in order, and maybe down the road there might be some things for you, but for right now, you just seem like
but you know what?
You have a lot going on, so we're gonna let you take care of that.
No, you mean maybe, but Johnny Depp's not hurting. He's still got residuals from Pirates.
Oh yeah.
So. Well, did you have any thoughts on this, Ben? Did you already give them? I don't remember.
No, I didn't, but, okay, he's gone. Get rid of Ezra Miller now. That's my feelings. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what really went on. It's none of our business. It's a mess. Let's move on. That's how I feel.
It's okay to not have an opinion. I mean,
No, agreed.
And
So let's take that spirit. We should probably move on.
yeah, there may be some information that like we don't even know about. So I mean, who knows, right? But yeah.
So what's next?
Let's see. So next we have news that we have even more movies pushed back. So of course for December, like I kind of thought that they're going to keep it, but they pushed back the Death of the Nile and also Free Guy into 2021, and then they had those trailers come out where for Free Guy where they like film them saying all different dates, or like Free Guy in theaters on December 11th, Free Guy coming early 2021, Free Guy coming sometime in the next 3 years or something, you know. So like they did that, but like just the way that they did it, like I kind of felt that they're going to be pretty firm on the date no matter what, but it makes sense though. I mean, because like as much as you want to be firm on a date, I mean, if you're going to lose money on it, I mean, the best bet is to just push it back. I mean, I'm personally sad that we're basically getting like no more new movies this year. Technically, Wonder Woman's still on the slate for Christmas Day, but I feel like that's like just like I don't know the word I'm looking for, but eventually we're going to see it pushed back. Like it's just inevitable. That's the word that's going to get pushed back. So I mean, it's sad, but it's consistent with the way 2021 is. So I mean, it's not anything new or surprising to me. But what do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Not surprising to me either. It's pretty much old hat at this point, so I don't even know why it's news that a movie gets pushed back.
Yep, right. But
you'll be Ben.
Hey Ben, can you hear us?
Yeah, why?
Oh, okay.
No, we're 59 would go for the same. Why is this news at this point? So what's your thought?
I'm sorry.
The water is wet.
No, you're good.
There's really nothing. Okay, move. I would have liked Free Guy to come out on digital. I'm sad about that one.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
that movie's a digital movie, in my opinion.
I think you're thinking a lot on Ryan Reynolds with the box office, and I have a bad feeling about that movie. It might be great. It might be a great movie, but I don't know if it's going to do well. They release it on demand. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I think in the pre-COVID era, it might have made a buck, but now releasing it right now, it's just.
If Tenet didn't make a buck, Fall Guy has no chance in hell.
Free Guy.
Yeah,
Whatever.
right. But yeah, so just a random piece of trivia. So I was looking at the top 10 movies for Netflix this week, and actually, Ryan Reynolds' The Green Lantern was surprisingly in the top 10 for Netflix. So people do like Ryan Reynolds. Like, I actually think that the movie that he did with Michael Bay on Netflix actually did surprisingly well too on Netflix. So I mean, he has a little bit of a draw on digital. So I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Free Guy on digital. I actually hope that it does go to digital, honestly.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it, but I'm not in a hurry.
Right. Yep. Same.
Yeah.
All right. What? Anything else in entertainment there, Jordan?
So the last thing is just that we got a trailer for the Star Wars Lego Holiday Special this week.
Yeah.
And for me, like I liked it. Like I kind of thought that like it was whatever, in my opinion, just because like I thought it was a little juvenile to me. That's just my opinion. I may be in the minority there, but one thing though that like I was surprised that they're actually doing something like this, because I kind of thought that Disney and Lucasfilm were kind of taking a little step away from like the kind of jokey kind of like let's make a big joke about Star Wars, because they had a series that was supposed to come out in 2013 that was called Star Wars Detours, and it was done by the guys who created Robot Chicken, and Seth Green and all the crew that did Robot chicken. And they actually filmed 39 episodes of it. You can find some of them online, and they're hilarious. They poke fun at every single thing in Star Wars. But that's kind of what I liked about the holiday special too, that they really parodied like a lot of things from like all the different Star Wars movies. So it was fun. I mean, I can kind of see it, like how it something like that would appeal to a lot of people, but for me, I just kind of like so on it. Just kind of like I'll probably check it out, maybe watch it with some of my younger nieces and nephews, but beyond that, I'm not like super just like in a hurry to see it, I guess.
Man, I got a feeling the three of us are all in the opposite boat on that one. I cannot wait to watch this.
Yeah.
I love the Lego Star Wars stuff.
Me too. That's how I started. That's how I became a Star Wars fan in the beginning. Like, I was avoiding Star Wars for a very long time. It just when I started with the first Lego Star Wars video game, that's how I became a Star Wars fan. And so Lego and Star Wars have always had a bit of an important part in my life. Hold on, let me just.
And I love the video games, though. The Lego.
The Lego.
I cannot wait for them to finally. I cannot wait for them to finally drop Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga.
Right? Yeah. Serious.
Yeah, that's probably going to be next gen at this point because it's been delayed for a long time.
Yeah, probably so.
Oh, nice! You have Slave One.
Oh, yeah. Nice. That's cool.
In my kitchen, I have Kylo Ren's TIE Fighter.
My silencer. I have that one. I showed it to a friend of mine, and he just picked it up and he says, "Oh, that's the head of Sauron."
It's like, no, not quite.
Nice.
I'll show it to you, but see, I think the Legos. Nobody knows how to parody franchises better than Legos.
Mm-hmm.
Like, look at just the Lego movie, the Lego Batman movie. I mean, they know how to poke fun at things, but they're not doing it. They're doing it in a very serious tone, and it doesn't feel like they're just turning it into a joke, like a lot of other spoof movies in the recent years. Like they know it's an important franchise to people, and they treat it with love and respect. Same thing if you also played, I don't know if you guys have played Lego Dimensions, but they had like 30 different franchises in them.
Yeah.
You feel the love that they have for these franchises. I mean, just the Doctor Who stuff alone. It was funny and jokey, but it was in a serious tone. And you can tell that these people are fans of the franchise and the property. And I like how, it's Christmas. It's a time of celebration. And, they're going back to this whole idea of A Christmas Carol, the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future. So they're basically just time traveling to all the important events in Star Wars. And they're bringing everything from, like, the prequels to Baby Yoda to even Tag and Bink make a cameo in this trailer. And that's just the trailer. The full thing. I don't know how long it's going to be. I'm assuming it's going to be 20 minutes or something. That's how usually.
I think I heard 45 minutes.
Okay, that's even better. Even better. The more the better. But yeah, they know how to make it funny and yet still feel like Star Wars without feeling like you're making fun of the property. And also kind of goes into a little bit of a tinfoil hat theory that I have, that somewhere down the line in The Mandalorian, kind of Ahsoka Tano takes Baby Yoda with her. She uses the world between worlds and goes back in time, and then Baby Yoda becomes the actual Yoda. That's like I said, it's a tinfoil hat theory. It's crazy and stupid. This trailer kind of seems to hint that time travel is more than just an idea in Star Wars. It's actually it's a legitimate possibility.
Yeah,
that's how Ahsoka was saved from her.
That is true. That is true.
Who knows? Anything could happen at this point.
God, now just you saying that makes me want to go back and watch Rebels again.
It was so good.
Fuck yeah! I was like, once I bought the whole series on disc. Oh, so glad I
freaking love Rebels. That's my second favorite thing Star Wars has ever done for me. It's Star Wars Rebels. I love Rebels.
What's your favorite season?
My favorite season?
My favorite season.
I'd probably go with season 2 with Vader.
Yeah,
but season 4 gives it a run for its money.
Yeah.
Which season had the Twin Sons episode?
4.
4? Yeah, 4.
Well, Twin Sons. That's when Obi-Wan shows up, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that the last season?
That's season 3.
Oh, 3.
When Maul.
Oh, okay, I'm thinking of the one where they had the final showdown between Maul and.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that's season 4. That's season 4.
No, that's 3.
Yeah.
Twin Sons, when Obi-Wan shows up and kills Darth Maul, that was season 4.
Well, I'm on Wikipedia right now, so.
I'm pretty sure that was season 4. Yeah.
It
Because
was before the finale, before Thrawn attacks that planet where they're on, and the Bendu kind of almost destroys.
doesn't season 3 end where you have you have Ezra almost on the dark side with Darth Maul, and then he has to come. They have to come and rescue him from Darth Maul, and like he almost gets killed with Darth Maul. Isn't that season 3? I feel like that.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, hold on. Yeah, no. Here's why I was thinking it's season 4. It's the penultimate episode before the 2-episode finale.
Yeah.
For the big battle with Thrawn.
Yeah.
Okay.
50 for the win.
Shmoda!
Yep. But like speaking of the holiday special, like one of the things that I do kind of like about it is that they're bringing back a lot of the original cast. You have Billy D. Williams coming back. You have Kelly Marie Tran back.
Yeah, but you're not getting Daisy Ridley. You're not getting You're not getting Isaac. What's his face?
Daisy Ridley. That sounds quite a lot like Daisy Ridley. Maybe it's not, but it sounds pretty dang close.
And it's not Oscar Isaacs, and it's definitely not John Boyega.
Yeah, those two were obvious, but like whoever they got to do the Ray part, like sounds quite a bit like Daisy Ridley. That's
well, you kind of have to, right?
Yeah, but like I could tell like a noticeable difference in the other characters. But
It looked good. It looked good.
Yeah, it's definitely something Star Wars related that I'm actually excited about to watch. Don't get me wrong, I'm excited about The Mandalorian. It's just I'm too lazy to watch it. I'm like, this is what I'm at this point.
Yeah.
It looked fun, and it looks like something we all could use right about now.
Especially on Christmas.
Yeah.
No Monday coming out on Thanksgiving. And coming out like in 2 weeks.
Even better.
Yep. Yeah, I just hope that they're able to nail the humor because that's something that I feel like that they've always missed. Like for my humor, I always have to go to like something like a Robot Chicken or something like that. And like I have all the Star Wars specials on DVD for Robot Chicken, so I watch a lot of those a lot.
And look,
All right.
Lego, I trust.
Yep.
As far as humor goes. Going back to what you said about the voice actors, Lego does this all the time, if they can, obviously, because going back to Lego Dimensions, they brought almost all of the original cast from all these different franchises. I mean, they've had Peter Capaldi as Doctor Who. They had the voice actor that did the original Gizmo came back to voice Gizmo in that game.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
And the voice of E.T. came back.
Yeah, and they had all the original music too. So I like that too.
All the actors from those franchises came back. I mean, minus the Ghostbusters, I think they pretty much got all of them.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
And the I think.
All right, so that takes care of entertainment. Now, Jordan, I know you want to touch on sports briefly, so we're going to give you the room for that. We're just going to take a step back and let you go with that. All right?
All right,
perfect. Up. Yeah, so I just got a quick little bit here that I just kind of want to just touch on. Mostly some news out of football. There's one little baseball story that I wanted to touch on that they announced Alex Cora. He is being rehired as a manager for the Red Sox, which is pretty surprising because he's one of the main players in the whole sign stealing thing with the Astros. So I'm a little surprised that they're bringing him back, but they are. So I mean, it makes you kind of think that like maybe some players that are involved in controversies in the past should be given another shot possibly. But I don't know. But as far as football goes, though, so. There's a couple of kind of interesting stories this week from the NFL. So you have the New York Jets. Some of their players, they discovered cameras in one who, let's see, okay. My mic was muted for a second, but it looked like it's fixed. Okay, cool. But yeah, so but like I don't really know anyone who would really want to spy on the Jets. The Jets are literally the worst team in in the entire league. So like who's ever putting cameras in the Jets locker room, you're doing it to the wrong team. But like don't do that at all, because that's like really illegal. So like not only is it against NFL policy to have cameras in the locker room, it is like freaking illegal. So yeah, so that's pretty crazy story there. And then also you had this big fight that erupted from the Chicago Bears. So you had this guy. I don't really know him. I'm not super familiar with the player, but I did see some video from the incident that happened. So you had this player Wims, and he punched this guy with last name Johnson. He's on the Saints, but there's a little kind of like a little breakdown of what actually happened that I have here. So the Fox broadcast showed what could have been the grievance Wims was trying to avenge. On the play prior, Gardner Johnson appeared to stick his hand and finger in the player from Chicago, Anthony Miller's face mask up near his eye. So this was a different player, and I think it just kind of pissed this other Wims guy off. And so after the ensuing play, Wims jogged over after running the other way. At first, he went over and he appeared to yank a chain off of Gardner Johnson's neck before swinging 2 right hooks at his helmet and hitting him a 3rd time with his left hand. Gardner Johnson appears confused, likely not understanding why Wims had come out of nowhere swinging at him. And actually, this wasn't the first time that Gardner Johnson kind of did the whole face match thing, where like not only did he grab the face mask, he stuck his hand inside the helmet up near the player's eyes, which just seems a little excessive. I mean, sometimes those things I guess happen, and like when you're in the heat of the game, but to stick it up that high, that kind of feels like it's got to be intentional. So he had another time in 2019 where he put his hand inside a running back, Tariq Cohen's face near his eyes, similar to what he did to Miller on Sunday. And while it's unclear whether the two are related, they haven't really come out to say on what's going to happen. I kind of feel like Wims, like most likely, I think he's going to get suspended for the season, because he didn't just throw one punch. This is multiple punches, ripped off his chain that he was wearing. So, I mean, it is a pretty big altercation. And then all the other players were like, they're rightfully surprised that he did that, but they kind of just played it off like they had no idea why he would do something like that, which is like, well, I mean, you know what you did to kind of piss the guy off. So, I mean, it's just kind of, I mean, you wouldn't really think that he would go that far, but it's understandable that he's pissed about it. So, but, and then, after that kind of, like down in the dump story about a fight, you have something a little more uplifting. There's news about the Pittsburgh Steelers bought dinner for all the poll workers during the presidential election. So I thought that was a pretty cool thing that the owners of the team that kind of got together with some of the players actually to help deliver these meals too, and they had it catered to all the poll workers in the Pittsburgh area. So I thought that was a pretty cool news story. And then you have one other news story that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers signed Antonio Brown. So they signed him to a 1-year deal. So if anyone knows about Antonio Brown, he creates a lot of drama, like for any team that he's on. I mean, he was even on my Seahawks at one point. He's been on the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's been on the Patriots. I mean, he's been all over the place, and it just always drama with him. But these teams keep signing him because he's an amazing player, and he's fast and he's quick. Like I mean, they just talk about how he's so explosive on the field. You have the Bucs general manager. He says they just so explosive and sudden and so much stronger than he looks. If you saw him in a grocery store, you wouldn't think he's a 7-time Pro Bowler, but man, he's very strong. Great hands, super explosive. So I mean, he doesn't look like he's would be someone that's like super strong, super fast, but apparently he's surprising a lot of people. So he has been reunited with Tom Brady over on the Buccaneers. So he'll be playing at least for this season. Beyond that, we'll see. We'll see if there's going to be any more drama with him. I know he had big time drama. I want to say, I want to get this right. I want to say that he was it the Rams he was on. I can't remember, but one of those teams over in the it was the Oakland Raiders. So he was on the Oakland Raiders, and he kept complaining about the type of helmet that he had to wear, all these little nitpicky things, because he used to wear a certain style of helmet that he prefers more, that like he thinks he can play better with that helmet. So he kept going back to wearing the helmet, but the type of helmet that he wears, they no longer allow the players to wear those helmets anymore. So it's this whole thing where he filed an appeal with the NFL, and it's this big thing. And so yeah, he just causes drama after drama. So we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen. But and then I just wanted to go over real quick before any of the games today, because I did see that my Seahawks are probably going to lose to the Bills today, but they'll only be their third loss of the year, so they'll still make the playoffs. I have faith. So, but the power rankings up until today, you have the defending Super Bowl champions, the Kansas City Chiefs, at number 1. Then you have the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are still undefeated, by the way. They're the only undefeated team in the league. You have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which I almost thought that maybe Tom Brady was going to get off to a bit of a slow start. I wasn't super impressed by his very first game that he played. But after that, though, he's been killing it over there. So that makes sense. Then you have the Seattle Seahawks at number 4, Baltimore Ravens, New Orleans Saints, Green Bay Packers, Buffalo Bills, Indianapolis Colts, and the Arizona Cardinals. So those are your power rankings, and with that basically wraps up all I have for sports. So yeah, if you guys want to jump back in, we'll get into our next segment.
Damn it!
See if you can get it lined
There
up.
we go. We're
There we
good.
go.
Yay!
I'll never get used to that.
Right.
Okay, so now we're on to what is my personal favorite segment of the show, and I'm sad to sneaky suspicion might be everyone else's too. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Where we do our top 5, where we're given a topic and we come back with our top 5 of that. It's pretty much, you know what? It's basically the top 10 with Roca, but done by us schmoes.
Yep.
So, and with that, I wanted to enact something, because I notice sometimes we talk about, like, if there's multiple items on the list, as there's an item on the list that appears multiple times, we talk about it every time. How about we enact the punt system? So how about we only talk about it the one time?
Yeah.
So if somebody says the number 5 and that option is in the top 3 of somebody else's, we'll say punt. If it's number 4, we can talk about it. Does that work?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got a thumbs up there, 50?
Yeah.
Okay.
Am I okay? Because everything just froze again for me.
No, you're good. You're good.
I'm good.
Okay, so it was your topic, correct, Ben?
Yeah.
You introduce it, please.
Okay, I picked the top 5 sitcom couples from TV.
Right.
And should I begin? Should I hand up?
Let's do our honorable mentions first.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I've definitely got some honorable mentions.
Should I go first?
Yeah, we'll just shoot yours. I'll do mine last.
Okay. My honorable mentions are Lawrence and Daphne from Frasier.
Okay.
Will and Chris from Will and Chris. Yeah, I know they're not technically people, but they're life partners, basically.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'd agree
No
with
argument
that.
here.
I was considering them, but they're not a couple, so I didn't put them on my list.
Yeah.
Al and Peggy from Married with Children.
Oh yeah, it's a good one. I forgot about that one.
Good one.
Man, one that like slipped my mind.
Elliot and Maya from Can't Shoot Me.
That's
Okay.
wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an awful
Honorable mention. And Korea can pick up, but I'm going to put that.
Yep.
Okay.
And I
That
know
was only
that.
an honorable mention. Come on.
Okay. And yeah, he that's his reason why it's his honorable mention for him is the reason why it's not on my list, because I know that we would have had multiple people talking about it.
Right?
So.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else have any honorable mentions?
Your honorable mentions makes me wonder. Okay, what's actually make the cut?
Right. Yeah. So I've got 3.
I also have one honorable mention myself.
Yeah. Go ahead, Fitz.
Doug and Carey, Arthur.
Okay.
It's from King of Queens. The King of Queens.
Oh, Jesus, I haven't seen that show in forever.
Yeah.
Doug and Carey. That's my my honorable mention.
Okay.
Good
How about you,
one.
Jordan?
For me, so my honorable mention, I have Andy Dwyer and April Ludgate from Parks and Recs.
No, yeah.
It's one of my like kind of just like kind of like, I don't know how you would even describe those two. They're just kind of just weird and strange and random. I don't know.
The way I would describe them is how Rocky described him and Adrian. They fill each other's gaps.
Right. Yep. Exactly. Yep.
One.
Yep. And then I have JD and Turk. I mean Elliot. They're basically JD and Turk are like the biggest bromance in like in like TV history, just about. And so
I wouldn't say that.
well, they're up there. They're like
they're up there.
A huge bromance, I would say. So, but
I know where you're headed.
Yeah, I'd say Joey and Chandler are bigger than JD and
Oh,
Turk.
I really going him out.
Yeah, no, Sean and Corey are pretty big, but I think like the epitome of bromance is Joey and Chandler.
yeah.
But JD and Turk to me are like Will and Grace, the same character.
Yeah,
But JD does end up with Elliot, so I'm gonna say JD and Elliot. And then also I have Glenn and Maggie from The Walking Dead, and especially for anyone who's kept up with The Walking Dead the whole season, where they become separated and they're trying to make it to Terminus, and like how they leave little notes for each other, just like trying to find their way back to each other. I thought was a pretty cool story.
Okay. I have one honorable mention, and the reason why I'm doing this is because if it wasn't for this couple, what we're about to talk about wouldn't be there.
Okay.
Lucy and Ricky.
I knew you were going there. I knew you were going there.
I am a big fan of I Love Lucy. I actually have. Sorry.
It's a punt for me by a little bit.
Oh, fuck off! Really?
Yeah. Just a small
Okay.
punt.
I was not expecting that.
Yep.
Perfect. I was not expecting that. Okay,
right.
we'll talk about it when we get there. Son of
All right.
you guys, wow. I can't wait. You guys surprised the hell out of me. I love it.
Surprise you every day.
Fuck. Okay, that's amazing. All right. So Ben, start us off with number 5.
Before can I say something? Jordan, you realize that The Walking Dead isn't a sitcom, right?
Yeah.
No, but like when he said it, I just thought that he said the like top couples from TV, but then later on, like when my list was like halfway through, like I just moved them down to honorable mention. I'm like, well, like I had them in my top 5, I'll put them in an honorable mention. So,
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ben, start us off. And remember, we're doing
My number 5 is not Korean Topanga. Sorry, but and close. Zach and Kelly from Saved by the Bell.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Didn't make my list, but they are one of my favorite TV couples.
Yep, same.
They were so yes, you saw them break up, but you saw them come back together. You actually see them get fucking married. You know,
And according to the new reboot, they still are.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, according to Jimmy Fallon, they still are too.
Yep.
Yeah, because he was apparently there with them in high school. Apparently.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my number 5. Zach and Kelly.
Yeah, I love Zach and Kelly. Like they were a staple of my childhood growing up because I watched Saved by the Bell all the time. And when you think of Saved by the Bell, they're who you think about, Zach and Kelly.
Yep.
Yeah. What about you guys?
Go ahead, Jordan.
Yeah, for sure. And for me, yeah, they're one that just really missed my list. Zach Morris, Kelly Kapowski. I mean, they're pretty much like one of the biggest teenage heartthrob couples of my youth. And so yeah, I always love me some Saved by the Bell. They just missed my list. So.
Right on. And you 50? Did you ever watch Saved by the Bell?
here's the thing: I cannot remember if it was even broadcast where I live.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I definitely remember Fresh Prince was played. I definitely remember Married with Children and Alf. I don't remember Saved by the Bell or Boy Meets World
Wow.
or broadcast because at the time the choices of channels was a bit limited over here. But that's before cable came along. So I don't think I've ever seen it broadcast anywhere. But I mean, if it was, it was probably a challenge that I just didn't watch. So I never watched Saved by the Bell.
I will say this: if you didn't grow up watching it, it is a little hard to watch.
Yeah, it doesn't hold up like super well.
Yeah, it does not age well
Yeah.
at all.
No,
I will say the college years though does.
Really?
College years is really underrated.
Okay. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Maybe say my fan.
Yeah, that's my favorite. That's my favorite incarnation.
Nice.
Okay, so my number 5 is the first couple of Detroit, Michigan, Tim and Jill from Home Improvement.
Yeah.
Anybody else? No puns? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
I thought that I should have had on. I should make a pretty strong case for Tim and Jill. So
yeah, no, I love them. Like, I mean, they're pretty much a little slightly heightened version of what a married couple is. The husband does some really stupid. The wife gets mad. He apologizes and she forgives him. But I mean, the beauty about their relationship is the stuff that he screws up is hilarious and very memorable. Like when he tried to fix the dishwasher, or when he tried to install the whirlpool up in the bathroom, and ended up taking a lot longer. His obsession with trying to beat the proctologist across the street every year with the Christmas lights.
you tried to ramp it up too much,
All
right?
shit he does, and then he puts her through, and she ultimately forgives him. That's why I love them so much. They're an incredibly heightened version of what a real married couple is. Spoken from a guy who's hasn't had a girlfriend in almost a decade.
same.
Yeah, there we go. We could be singles together.
Yeah, for me, I just really like Jill because she kind of brings Tim back down to earth. I feel like because like he just has like pie in the sky aspirations with like all his tools, all his cars, all the things he wants to soup up, and I think maybe like Tim might be dead without her, possibly. Like because like all the accidents he's had, all the crazy like stuff he gets into. So
yeah, and it's like also the moments where they get, I don't want to say sentimental, but where they express their love for each other and what they mean for each other. You could tell that they really do love each other. Like, I mean, the actors brought something to that where
They had chemistry.
it was real, very damn good chemistry. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she wasn't the original Jill. They actually hired Frances Fisher originally, and they did the pilot, and they just didn't think the chemistry was there. Yeah.
Nice.
So that's my number 5.
Nice.
Okay.
all right, so my number 5. My number 5 might still be a punt for you, Ben, but my number 5 is Lucy and Ricky from I Love Lucy.
Yeah, but
Okay.
All right, so
I'm
we'll
not
wait
gonna
till-
lie. It's not often you meet people my age who actually watch shit that's that old.
right, exactly.
I thought I was the only one.
Apparently
Hey,
not.
don't apologize. I mean, I wanted to watch it for a while. Didn't get a chance to watch it yet, but I definitely want to. Did any of you guys hear of F Troop? That's another black and white from the
I never
1960s.
watched it, but I've heard of it.
Yeah, same here. But yeah,
Funny. I mean, and you think that a show from the 1960s it wouldn't be as funny because the jokes are 50 years old, so it kind of feels played out. It feels fresh, and it feels like the show was written to. Okay, maybe not with the way they're handling Native Americans on that show, but with the way they're handling the female character on the show, it feels like the show was written today.
All right.
The humor is fresh. There's no reason to not watch black and white shows from the 1950s.
Exactly, and we'll get more into that when we know it's Ben's turn to reveal where he has it. So, 50. What is your number 5?
Yeah.
Okay, my number 5, Homer Simpson and Marge Simpson.
Yes, I was thinking about them. They would have
that's
been
a
on.
good one.
Fun for you?
it's a punt for me. Yeah, that's a big punt
All
for
right.
me.
Okay. All right, Ben, you're number 4.
Nellie and Marshall from How I Met Your Mother.
You know
But
what?
that's a slight punt for me. I've done it at my number 3. So
I feel like a fucking idiot. That one never even occurred to me.
Really?
I don't know if you want
And
to
I
talk
love
about
that
it now
show.
if you want to wait, but
I had my top three. Yeah, no, there's
Wanna
reasons
reassess your list?
Well, do we want to talk about it or do we want to wait?
We'll punt because it's a punt and it's above number 4. Like in the next 3, we'll talk about it then.
Okay.
Okay. So my number 4 is Uncle Jesse and Aunt Becky from Full House.
Nice.
Yeah, and I know how things ended up with Lori Loughlin, which really sucked because it's like, well, she's really not like Aunt Becky, I guess, is she? But their love story throughout the original Full House series was, for me growing up was like the ideal image of love, and my love of like serenading people came from Uncle Jesse serenading Becky at his wedding for when he sang Forever.
And Forever, yep.
Yeah. So I mean, these guys hold a special place in my heart. The show does as a whole. But Becky and Jesse, to me, growing up, because I'm gonna be a little honest here, I didn't really have that in my real life. The picture of a good couple. So to me, this is what it was. And so for that, they'll always be up there for me.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay, Jordan, you're number 4.
Well, my number 4 is Kevin Arnold and Winnie Cooper from the Wonder Years.
Ooh.
Yeah, so
Wonder Years.
Oh, you never seen it? Oh man, you got to treat yourself.
No, I know what it is and I know about it. It's I just never watched it when I was a kid, and it's actually not streaming anywhere up here.
Really?
Yeah. I think what I heard about the Wonder Years is that like that was a show that took a very long time to actually be released on DVD, even because I heard that they had a lot of copyright issues with the music was a huge thing for it too. Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken, that's why the theme song is different on DVDs is because of that. It's not Joe Cocker's version of Willow.
It's not.
Friends, from what I've heard.
Yeah, because that song's is iconic. But yeah, for me though, just Kevin Arnold and Winnie Cooper, they're just like the essential, just like a couple that when I was young, I always like looked to them as like one of the greatest couples in TV history. And like if you haven't seen the Wonder Years, like if you want a good feel good story that's like sort of like I want to compare it to Full House a little bit and Boy Meets World, but it has its own flair. Like it's set in the 70s and it kind of deals with like some of the things of that time, but it definitely has a lot of humor in it and like its own unique way. But then it always ends with like something like pretty emotional at the end, to where like it doesn't really feel cheesy. Like it actually feels like something that like almost every episode there's like something that makes me feel like I'm getting choked up, and especially seeing Kevin and Winnie on screen, because like through the whole series you get to kind of watch their journey. They're not, I mean, this is a very minor spoiler, but they're not together the whole entire series. They have times where they're together, times where they're not, and so yeah, it just kind of it's a lot of fun to just see their journey play out over like I think they had like 6 seasons of the Wonder Years.
6 seasons. Like that. I was just reading up on it. One of the reasons why it was canceled is because the ABC execs didn't want to see Kevin mature, pretty much.
Oh, really? Huh. That's kind of interesting. Huh.
Yeah, because when he had graduated, it would have been, the hippie generation, right?
Right. Yeah. Yep. Okay. But anyways, yeah, that's my number 4.
All right, 50. What's your number 4?
Okay, my number 4. I almost forgot about it before the show started, but I looked it up and I remembered. And it's Raymond and Deborah from the show.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Raymond.
That is a very good one. Again, wouldn't be on my list, but no, they're a great couple. Not gonna disagree with you there.
I've watched almost every single season of it. It was playing on one of the Fox channels. I believe.
Israel, #1 show.
Right.
Really?
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. But it was on one of the Fox channels that we somehow got access to, because at that point we caught cable and we sort of switched to this new hard to explain, but it was a new like cable, but it's not really cable. But
right,
yeah. So it was finding good channels to watch with this new system is a daily challenge, because a lot of the times we get like Arabic channels. But fortunately for us, a lot of the Arabic channels have movies in English, American movies, except they cut out a lot of stuff out because of a lot of Islamic problems. They cut a lot of romance stuff and a lot of sexual stuff. Like they once had the Simpsons movie on it. They cut out 40% of that movie because a lot of it to do with sex and romance stuff. But anyways, the Fox channels, I believe we picked it up from a German satellite or something. So like the show itself was in German, was in English, but like the commercials and stuff was all in German, and like even the credits of the show where they show us the names of the actors and the producers, it was all in German, but at least the show itself was in English, so it was understandable. And so like I believe all 9 seasons was on that, and we watched it. It was reruns obviously, but we watched it, and yeah, Deborah and Raymond. And also, it kind of ties into my honorable mention because they kind of had a sort of mini crossover shared universe type thing with the King of Queens. Yeah. So yeah, that was kind of out of left field. But then Kevin James pretty much became a regular on that show. So I don't know if it was the same character, but certainly looked like Raymond and Deborah were characters on an episode or two of the King of Queens.
Yeah,
nice.
Okay.
Well, very few examples I can think of crossovers between sitcoms.
Yeah, it's not something that's often, like I know back when TGIF was big on ABC when Full House and all those shows were on, it happened quite a bit because I know Urkel appeared on an episode of Full House, and Perfect Strangers was a parent to Family Matters and stuff. So it was common at one point, but definitely it's not something you see anymore.
Yeah, one of the things that I really like about Raymond and Deborah is that like it just cracks me up how like Raymond, he just tries to act like his normal self. He thinks he's being a nice guy, but there's so many moments where like he just annoys the hell out of Deborah, or like moments where like he doesn't really understand all the hints that like Deborah's trying to give him to like do certain things for her, say certain things, even like the really like little things. So she ends up getting super annoyed at him. And he's like, "What? Well, like, what did I say? What did I do? What the heck?" And all of a sudden, she's randomly pissed off, and like he just has such a hard time, like just knowing the right things to say and do. He's just constantly just digging himself in all these holes and stuff. Like it's just hilarious. It just cracks me up the way that he does it. Yep.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen an episode of that show. I remember it used to air on TBS and stuff. That's where I would catch it. Yeah.
One thing I want to say though is at one point I was also considering his parents.
Oh yeah,
but I think Deborah and Raymond are the signature couple of that show.
Yeah, I would agree.
All right, Ben, you're number 3.
I want to say him, but I think I'm going to have. I think I'm going to get punted. Monica and Chandler.
Fucking punt, man.
Yeah.
Punt. Yeah. Okay, my number 3 is Leslie and Ben from Parks and Rec.
Oh, nice.
I'm actually surprised it's on nobody's list.
No.
His honorable mentions was Andy and
April.
Andy and April.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, another couple. No, Leslie and Ben, they're the couple you root for. Like, I mean, when they first got together, they were having to sneak around because the inter-office relationships were not allowed, and they ended up becoming the backbone of the series. And for me, the series became the series when Ben and Chris were introduced. Before that, it was just
Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, you got a lot of good moments between these two. I mean, and their way of telling each other "I love you," I like you, I love you, is beautiful, and their support for each other, and they acknowledge each other's quirkiness. And I mean, hell, as a gift, she fricking got him the Iron Throne once,
right?
Right. Yeah. So I mean, like they're what you would call hashtag relationship goals in a slightly outlandish way.
Yeah, my favorite. My favorite thing from them is actually seeing it at the very end of the whole entire series when you see them in the future and you actually see that they made it to the future and they're actually still a super strong couple even way down the road. So, yep, their love stands the test of time.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much what my top three are. Well, I guess all of us are more or less. They're couples that are built to last.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my number 3, Leslie and Ben.
All right. So my number 3 is Marshall and Lily. So do you want to talk about Marshall and Lily now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So for me, I love Marshall and Lily. Like they're just like a perfect match for each other. I just feel like they just complement each other in every single way, and they're a super strong couple where like all their friends are just really like having all these relationship issues that they just can't seem to like hang on to anyone for very long. But their love just like stands the test of time, and I especially love the flashbacks that we get to see how they met back in college, and then like just years and years later.
Sandwich.
Yep. Yeah, but their love just stands the test of time, and they do have their ups and downs a little bit, but they have a lot more ups than downs. I'll just say.
Yeah. No, they're one. It's tough where I would put them on my list because like I said, I forgot about them, which is dumb because I love that show. Yeah, but no, you're right. They're definitely a great couple, and for me, my favorite. It's a bad moment, but my favorite moment between them is the moment where Marshall finds out his father passed away.
Right. And that was beautifully handled.
Very beautifully handled, and Marshall, the actor Jason Segel, had no idea that was what was going to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Originally in the script, it said Lily was going to come out of the cab and she was going to tell Marshall she's pregnant.
Oh.
And so he found out about the death when they're filming, and that's his genuine reaction.
That's damn good acting.
Yeah,
That is
fucking
damn good acting.
Yeah,
Yep.
and just thinking about it, kind of, I'm getting goosebumps.
Wow.
Yeah, even like one other thing that I like that kind of shows like how much love Marshall has for Lily. Like when you have the season where Lily goes off to California to pursue her
when the year they're broken up.
Yeah, so they're apart from each other, and you just see how distraught Marshall is just for days and days. He's just like inconsolable weeks. I mean, he's just crying. He misses her so much. He just wants to be with the girl that he loves, and like he's not sure like what's really going on, but he loves her enough to let her go find herself, and then has enough faith that eventually they're still going to be together. So
You sons of bitches! Now it made me want to go rewatch it.
yep. Right. Just so good.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Oh no, it's perfectly fine. You know what? That's not a bad thing.
But yeah, so that's my number 3. So I guess 50.
Yeah, you're number 3.
Number 3. Okay, so at first I thought it was going to get punted, but now I don't think it will be. I don't think it's on anybody's list. It's Penny and Leonard from The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, definitely not on my list.
Never mind.
Classic though, yeah. Definitely a classic couple.
First of all, The Big Bang Theory has 3.5 couples. There's Amy and Leonard. No, Penny and Leonard, Amy and Sheldon, Howard and Bernadette, and Raj and whichever poor soul he happens to get attached to.
Yeah.
But I think out of the 3, because we talked about it earlier before the show started, is that we're only. I think out of those 3, even though Howard and Bernadette were the first to get married, and Sheldon is the biggest piece of work we'll ever come across, so Amy deserves full credit for making a somewhat decent man out of him. I think Penny and Leonard are the best couple out of that group of friends, because they were a couple before they were a couple.
Yeah,
easily.
Yeah, and I just love all the moments where they kind of talk like they're already even before they were a couple, they were like acting like a married couple, and Sheldon was their kid.
Yep, exactly.
That's true.
Like a little kid, and so I mean, as a guy, my parents were divorced at a very early age, so and when they first started, it was like, okay, she's gonna live over there, he's gonna live over there, but they both had this little Sheldon that they have to take this little kid Sheldon that they treat him like a kid, and that kind of reminded me of my parents. Okay, so my parents were separated by cities, not by across the hall. So, and yet they still somehow managed to make a somewhat decent man out of me. So, Penny and Sheldon, why am I saying? Because I keep messing it up because Penny and Sheldon also have a pretty serious relationship, sometimes even better than the relationship she has with Leonard.
I'll agree with you on there.
And I love every time he shows up to her house, he goes like, Penny.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
And always just like you said, they're like little brother and sister. They always sit around and talk. And I love this one episode where he is trying to teach her some scientific stuff on cards, and she shows him cards of famous people, and he's trying to guess which one is it. So yeah, like I said, sometimes Sheldon and Penny have a much closer relationship than Leonard and Penny, but Penny and Leonard are the couple, and that's why they fight a little bit more than when Sheldon and Penny get together.
I love Sheldon and Penny because it brings out the vulnerability in Sheldon.
Yes, the humanity in that.
Exactly, the humanity.
Humanity, yep.
Okay, who watches Young Sheldon here?
I don't
I
know.
watched a couple of episodes, but I didn't watch the full show.
Okay, I did watch that clip from the most recent one, and they revealed something about Sheldon in the future.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead. None of us watch it, so go ahead and spoil it.
I'm fine with it.
He had a son with Amy.
Oh, really?
Leonard Cooper.
Leonard Cooper. That's nice.
Oh,
Yeah,
Leonard.
a lot.
Awesome.
It
Yeah, that
makes
is
sense.
a nice tribute to his best friend there.
At first, he wanted to name him Leonard. What was it? Leonard Nimoy Cooper.
Leonard Nimoy.
Leonard Cooper.
That totally makes sense.
Yeah.
You wonder if he named him Leonard after his best friend or after Leonard Nimoy.
Right, yeah. Like, which one is it?
You would have. My first thought when you said he had a son, I thought he just named him something in Klingon. But Leonard actually makes sense, especially when you think about Leonard Nimoy Cooper. I can already imagine the conversation they had in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, Leonard. Oh, like Leonard Nimoy. No, like Leonard.
Yeah, right.
So I have a question for you about young Sheldon then. Like, do we ever see Jim Parsons, or what's the deal? Is he
And I love the one of you. You hear the voiceover?
okay, but is it him?
Yeah, it's him.
Okay.
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 Like,
Yeah.
It's like a new one of you, except Sheldon.
Yeah, yep.
I would have gone with Everybody's Hating Chris. With Chris
Oh, yeah.
Brown.
Yeah, good one.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have my own issues with Big Bang Theory, but I will agree the couples on that show are pretty strong couples.
Yeah, one of the things I really like about Leonard and Penny is that, like, Leonard is the nerd who's just determined to go after the girl that's way out of his league, and he's not going to give up. And eventually, he actually wins the girl and that's way out of his league, and so you get to see their relationship actually play out. Because in a lot of movies that doesn't happen, but in this one it does.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, you're number 2, Ben.
I'm surprised nobody said this already. Jim and Pam.
It's my number 2.
Yeah, that was almost an honorable
Talk
mention
about
for me.
it.
Almost.
I mean, yeah, like, what can you really say about them? They're perfect.
Yeah.
In fact, I hated the last season of The Office because Jim betrayed that character, in my opinion, so much. Because the old Jim would never have lied to Pam and moved out to another city to do some new job.
Yeah.
They went together so perfectly, and yeah, I just love them.
See, that's not my problems with season 9, because to me that's something that's possible that a couple could actually go through.
Yeah, but okay, fair enough.
Right. My issue with season 9 was how they reverted Ed Helms' character back to Andy to an asshole. That's my problem with season 9.
Yeah, they made Andy Michael.
Yeah.
Let me know my continue.
So I can accept Pam and Jim in that because that is something that is possible. And like I said with my last pick, how Ben and Leslie are relationship goals on an exaggerated level. Jim and Pam are relationship goals realistically.
Yeah.
Even there's nothing like the proposal in the rain scene.
Oh,
it's like an iconic scene that just gets
not
you
my favorite proposal, but definitely one of the best.
Yeah, for sure.
And when they find out that they're having a baby.
Oh yeah, that one too. Yeah.
And another thing, when he finally asks her out on a date, when he pops in on her talking head, unplanned, unscripted.
Oh really?
Really?
Yeah, so that's a genuine reaction there too.
Nice.
Yeah, no, they're definitely relationship goals on a realistic level, and I'm actually rewatching The Office right now, and yeah, they're perfect.
Where are you on that?
I'm at the end of season 2.
Okay.
Just getting to where it starts getting really good then.
Yeah.
Nice.
All these unplanned and unscripted things you keep dropping on us kind of makes me think that, people always say that sitcoms are easy to make. This kind of proves that they're not. I mean, there's a lot of sitcoms are very hard to make, and they do stuff like that, these unscripted, unplanned things to kind of get the moments of drama and emotion out of the actors.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like the one we just talked about earlier with the father passing away.
Yeah, and I want to throw a plug out to the Office Ladies podcast. For every episode, they break down an episode of the show and they bring in guests and stuff. I have actually fallen behind on it, but it is a great listen. I would definitely recommend that. That's where I learned a lot about my Office trivia from.
I need to check that out because I keep meaning to watch that, but I just haven't gotten around to it yet. But it's on my list.
Yeah, no, I'm actually pretty late to The Office myself, just like I am with Parks and Rec. Parks and Rec I started watching, I guess, 3 years ago at this point. And Office I watched for the first time. I finished it just at the beginning of quarantine for the first time.
Oh wow.
Okay. Yeah, The Office I was a little late too also, but Parks and Rec I watched right from the beginning. But actually, like I did kind of like fall off of season 1 a little bit because it's probably the weakest of all the seasons. So
season 1 of Parks and Rec and The Office are shit. Yeah,
so I went back and watched some of the season 1 a little later, but everything else I watched live.
The best thing about those seasons is they're short.
Right. Yep. Exactly.
Okay, so we just had mine and Ben's number 2. So what's your number 2, Jordan?
So my number 2 is Marge and Homer Simpson. So we can talk about that one.
Okay.
Now. Yeah. Okay. So. Yeah, for me, I have so much love for The Simpsons. Like man, that show was a huge influential part of my childhood growing up. It's actually something. So since I grew up in a Mormon household, that's something that my dad actually hated that show, and he said you're not allowed to watch the Simpsons. But little did he know, I watched every episode of The Simpsons, but he didn't find out about it till years down the road that I did that. But because I just have so much love, especially for some of the earlier seasons. I mean, I love the whole entire series. There's a lot of people that'll say, "Oh, like some of the newer and more current stuff isn't as good." Like I would disagree with that. Like I actually think that like it might have had a little dip while they were making the movie because I think they had more of their like writing staff and people more focused on the movie at that time. But I think that it's great now, and one of my favorite episodes with Marge and Homer was actually from season 1, where they do a parody of an officer and a gentleman, and you see Marge walk into the power plant after they had a huge fight, and she comes in essentially to apologize and tell him that she forgives them, and then you just hear Homer say, he says, "I'm going out to the backseat of my car with the woman I love, and I won't be back for 10 minutes."
I remember that. I love that.
Yep. What are your thoughts, 50? You had it on the list.
It was my number 5. I mean, Homer and Marge represent to me, like a lot of other couples we've mentioned before on this list, they represent to me the staying power that couples on TV have, because The Simpsons, I think it's fair to say that The Simpsons go through crazier things than any of the other couples we've mentioned on this list so far.
Oh yeah,
and they still somehow manage to stick together. And that's I mean, it's a bit cliche, but this is true love. It is. It's loving the person that you're with. You love the flaws, and you love the pros of that person. And one of my favorite Marge and Homer moments was, I can't remember the episode, but I mean, I think it's that episode. It truly defines the relationship that these two have, and it was the one episode. I can't remember what Homer did, but he kind of went a little too far. So Marge just
a lot of different episodes.
Yeah, exactly.
What?
I said that could be a lot of different episodes.
Yeah, that's why I said I don't remember the exact episode, but he went a little too far, and she just kicked him out of the house, and he just, I don't know, he lived in the treehouse for a couple of.
I remember that.
I remember that.
And suddenly his life started to fall apart, and he was living like a hobo, and his clothes were ripped, he was dirty, and he had a long beard and stuff, and he was trying to figure out what could he give Marge that no other man can give her. And I believe it was the episode where that meme came from, where he goes back in the house and he finds Mo kind of hitting on his wife and just kind of looks at him. They kind of made a meme out of it, but then she kicks him out again. And then in the middle of her kicking him out again, he just stops and he is like, "Wait, I remember what I could give you that nobody else can. Complete and utter dependent."
Yep.
And she was like, "Homer, that's not a good thing." And he's like, and the craziest thing in that episode happens when he says, "Marge, look at me. We've been separated for a day." And was like, it feels like it's been a couple of weeks or months, but no, it was one day. It took him one day to realize that he can't live without her.
One day to become a complete bum.
Yeah.
Sure.
My one negative thing to say about that couple, it's like, don't get me wrong, they are great together, but it's just like, because the series has gone on for so long, they're just recycling the same issues over and over and over again.
And it happens with a lot of these long
long-running shows. Yeah.
So that, for me, that's a negative, just because at this point, like, you know, you've seen him screw up like that exact same way before. So, yeah.
But you have to say though that Marge Simpson has to be like the most forgiving wife in the history of like ever. Like all the things that Homer has done, like he literally brought them to the brink of like absolute poverty, like lost all their life savings. He gets drunk constantly. He's embarrassed her time and time again at like so many different events. Like he literally just like sits on the couch all day long, drinking beer, watching TV, eating donuts, all that. But she just sticks right by his side. She loves him to death, and like always ends up forgiving him like every single time. So
they're Tim and Jill on human growth hormone.
Oh yeah, right. Yep.
It's like
exactly
Eustace and Muriel from Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Yeah. Yep. There you go.
Also, you mean you look at some of the stuff he did in the movie?
Oh God.
Yeah.
After he did all that, and she still came back to him in the end.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's cliche, but it's true love. That's how it is. That's how
it's
it
true.
is.
Yeah. All right, 50. What's your number 2?
Ben.
That one. You're number 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
My number 2. Sorry, my number 2. My number 2. Oh no, that's actually a punt from earlier. That's Chandler and Monica.
Punt.
Okay.
Right.
So I guess it's your number 1 then.
Okay, Ben.
By process of elimination.
My number 1 is Ricky and Lucy. I mean, they're iconic.
Yeah.
Awesome. Excited
We
to talk about
wouldn't
that.
have a mess without them. They were the first. They were the best.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. They were not my final thought. What am I doing? I'm sorry, guys.
Sorry.
No matter what happened, they were always together. They got along. And when they fought, they always made up. They had a wonderful marriage. They're iconic. What else can I say?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, they have one of the most iconic lines for any couple. Lucy, I'm home.
Lucy, you got some splaining to do.
Yeah, that's explaining. Yeah,
This show still holds up.
it still holds up. Yeah, it's still funny and just super entertaining. Yeah.
This is one of the shows I grew up watching with my mom, and I have every single episode on DVD of this.
Oh, wow.
And if it wasn't for Desi Arnaz and Lucille Ball, we wouldn't have the list we're talking about now. They invented the modern sitcom. Hell, they invented the 3-camera sitcom. A lot of the way the show
paved the way.
Exactly. They paved the way in a lot of instances. And one of my favorite moments from them is a very real moment. It's when the episode where Lucy reveals to Ricky that she's pregnant.
Great moment.
And when she's, he gets the note of the club and, could you sing, we're having a baby, my baby and me. And he's trying to find out. And then he gets to Lucy's table and she's like nodding. He's like, oh, hi, honey. It's like,
she's like trying to drop hints though. Yeah.
Yeah. And so he's like, wait, no. She's like, yeah. And then he starts singing. And it's like, we're having a baby, my baby and me. And then they have that embrace. And it's just like, perfect.
It really is like a perfect sitcom.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have half of it without it.
Yeah.
I mean,
none of the shows we talked about today wouldn't be possible without that one.
Exactly.
In a similar way that if we didn't have Ricky and Lucy, we didn't have any of these couples we just talked about. Going back to my thing, if we didn't have Homer and Marge, we wouldn't have Peter and Lois.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
That was just Ricky and Lucy are on a much bigger scale.
Exactly. Yeah. The impact of Lucy and Ricky and on screen and off is something that you could never imagine. Fuck. If it wasn't for Lucille Ball, we wouldn't have Star Trek. Think about that.
Really?
Desi Lou Productions is the company that took the shot on Gene Roddenberry and produced Star Trek.
Wow.
True.
She's the one that greenlit it. So if it wasn't for Lucille Ball, we wouldn't have Star Trek.
Shit, I never knew that.
Aren't they making a biopic about her, or is it Mary Tyler Moore?
No, it was her. It was her. I forget her.
There's been a few biopics of Lucille Ball, so I
think they're making one, not they made one.
Maybe.
Yeah. I think I heard about it a couple of years ago, but
do you guys know when I Love Lucy actually aired? Was it the 50s or?
Yeah, it was the 50s. I think the first episode was hold on, I'm on Wikipedia. Just give me a second. I think it was 52. I might be wrong.
I want to say 53.
Makes sense. 52 makes sense.
I Love Lucy.
Like how many?
51. So I was off by a year.
Nice.
It's like how many shows that are that old still hold up that well to this day? I mean,
and
there's really not many.
All over the world. I'm assuming it plays in Israel, right?
Reruns, I haven't seen any, but I mean, one of these days I really want to track down. Just same thing I did with F Troop that I mentioned earlier. I would
recommend it.
I want to watch this. So I believe Superman makes a cameo in an episode once.
Yeah, George Reeves. Yeah, John Wayne does. Orson Welles.
I remember that.
Charles Boyer. You've got so many celebrities at that time that guest starred. I think it was Montgomery Clift did one. Harpo Marx in one of my favorite moments where they recreate the mirror scene. And then you've got Red Skelton appeared. Bob Hope in a classic one. Like they have so many celebrity cameos.
I like the handcuff.
They revolutionized television at that time, I suppose.
Oh, for sure.
Which episode, Ben?
The handcuff?
Oh yeah,
with the handcuff together.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, heck, they were the first couple in any form, radio or TV, to be pregnant.
Yeah,
really. Yeah.
Really, yeah. And the studio execs don't even let them say the word pregnant. They had to say Lucy's expecting.
Right.
Yeah.
And still, one of the funniest giving birth episodes.
Oh yeah.
Been on TV.
Yeah, where he's dressed up as that fucking weird thing with the wild hair and the makeup and he's in the hospital.
Even before that, just a rehearsing of the moment. And then the actual moment, and then like insane.
Yeah, or where she thinks Ricky's homesick, so she tries to bring a little bit of Cuba, and so she's doing the Carmen Miranda thing, singing along to the record, and also the record.
Yeah, it speeds up. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I love Lucy, man. Lucy and Andy, man, we owe so much to you, more than you'll ever know.
Yep,
Yeah.
Definitely for sure.
Okay,
And always remember to take your vitamin.
Yeah.
Yep.
that's one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah.
I never had to watch that one.
I love that episode.
I have a question. Did that episode sort of influence the episode in Friends with the mocklet?
Maybe. I wouldn't. I don't know.
Definitely, it feels like an inspiration.
Well, one of the famous episodes is the chocolate thing.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
That's been
Yes, I was
done
gonna mention that one.
so many times.
I wish I
Because
had.
I used to work.
From that episode. I don't know where it is though. Oh,
Yeah, so I actually used to work in a chocolate factory. So that scene where you have all the chocolates coming down the conveyor belt, and they're like trying not to eat it. They're like trying to resist, but they just end up eating all the chocolate. I've actually
mistaken. It's
like
not
almost
from-
experienced that exact moment working in a chocolate factory before. So
Oh,
I've been there. Awesome, that's cool. That.
No, 50, man. If you can track it down, it's worth a watch.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually missed working in a chocolate factory. That was a fun job.
Very hard to find, but if I found F Troop,
Oh, I was gonna ask, what region for discs are you? Like, are you region 3, 4?
I don't know what that means. Hold on.
Oh, I'll explain after we're off air. So my number one is up. It's been punted several times. It's Monica Geller and the Chan Chan Man.
Could this couple be any more perfect?
Sorry,
Could this couple be any more perfect?
right? I am Chandler Bing. I am the loser who's always trying to make people laugh at awkward situations. My dad is not a cross-dresser. Let's just put that out there.
Yeah.
Very
But,
important.
The dad
No,
or his mom.
This is what happens when you let storytelling progress organically, because they were never supposed to end up together. Originally, it was supposed to be who was the original couple? I think it was supposed to be Joey and Monica, but they gave it a shot based on the chemistry to Matthew Perry and Courtney Cox, all based organically, and it became one of the best things of the show.
And we're all happy for it.
Yeah,
Right.
that one episode in season 4, the Reddit, that changed everything.
Everything. I watched that episode live, and I didn't really watch that many episodes of Friends at that time, but even I was like, "Oh my God!"
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not enough good things I can say about them. Like, again, I am Chandler Bing, so I can relate to him, and
And then,
see them together. It's beautiful. Like, one of my favorite proposals. Yeah, you said earlier the Jim Pam Rain proposal is perfect for me. It's the proposal between Chandler and Monica, where he thinks he's fucked everything up, and because he was going to propose that night, and he's all despaired, and Joey's like, "Dude, she left. She couldn't wait for your answer anymore. She's gone to her parents. Said don't bother calling her." And all that stuff, and you could just see Chandler is broken up, and he opens the door, and there's Monica. And I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about this. Monica's standing there surrounded by hundreds of candles, and she gets down on one knee, and she's like, "Well, there's a reason why women don't do this." So he gets down, and it's so beautiful.
Another beautiful moment was in the casino where they kind of decide to get married when she throws the dice under the table and they meet.
Yeah. And their wedding serenade being officiated by Joey. That was the reason I almost officiated my friend's wedding.
wait, what happened?
When Joey officiated Chandler and Monica's wedding, I
yeah.
said that was the reason why I almost got to officiate my friend's wedding, but I ended up being in the groomsmen.
Oh,
So
my.
Yeah, but I'm low-key a little bit jealous of Chandler being married to a professional chef that can cook that well. I'm like,
Right?
that would be amazing.
yeah, and who's anal retentive about cleaning, so he really doesn't have to do all that much.
Right? Yeah. Exactly.
She's the perfect woman for him.
100%. And the baby part was they've known each other this whole time, and they didn't realize it for the longest time, right?
How,
That's usually the best relationships, I think.
And let's just say one of the best moments of that show was the moment Chandler said out loud, "I love her," when Phoebe was trying to flirt with him, because they don't know that we know that they know, sort of. That right. And Chandler's just like, it's because I love her, and then Monica
finds out, right?
And perfect.
Yep. One of my favorite moments is in, oh god, I always forget which season it is. Season 9, I believe. The one with Christina Applegate.
Okay.
The wedding dishes. And they just break all over the ground.
Yeah.
You feel that. You feel
Oh yeah.
when that happens.
It was very emotional when they all had to hand in their keys to that apartment.
Oh.
Yeah.
Empty
It was like another character in that show.
Yeah.
houses and empty apartments in series finales always gets me.
Yep. Yeah.
It's
I would agree.
very,
That's like,
very symbolism. Yeah.
yeah. One of my other favorite moments is when Ross catches Chandler with Monica. Classic.
And this right here is one of my favorite moments. Share screen. It's the moment where they won the apartment and they enter on the dog.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people give this show shit because it is, it's perfect white male, blah, blah, blah. It's a good show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good, funny show.
Exactly. Oh, hey, you're supposed to see that.
Oh. Oh, good.
That's me playing Mahjong.
It's better than what it could have been, so that's all right.
One of my mom's best friends.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Also, never forget that Chandler will always be the man who peed on her.
Yeah. Yeah. That was before they got together, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they just started to kind of like each other, and you said, "Well, but you'll always be the man who peed on me."
You know what's funny about Joey and Chandler winning the apartment? Knowing the future, when you go back and watch that episode, you're like, dude, relax, you'll move in there in like 2 years.
Yeah, but they
did. Yeah, right.
I didn't know that at the time.
Yeah, of course you didn't know it at the time.
Yeah.
So when they announced that, they were doing their Friends thing and these people go, Max, I'm in that boat of that's not what I wanted. I wanted a reunion movie, man.
Yeah.
I don't think that's ever going to happen.
I know, man. That's a missed opportunity.
So what's it going to be on HBO Max?
It was just going to be them getting together and sharing stories and clips. It was going to be.
Oh, yeah.
You think it's going to happen?
Maybe. It might still happen. I don't know.
Yeah, it does.
I see. Never seen ever, right? We live in interesting times.
Like with Seinfeld, when for me, I really want to see a Seinfeld reunion, but they brought it back on Curb Your Enthusiasm for an episode, so I guess that's all we're gonna get.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
It's still going, isn't it?
Sorry?
What?
Curb Your Enthusiasm is still going, isn't it?
Yeah.
It came back. Yeah, it came back.
It came out of its hiatus for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So enough talk about Chandler and Monica. What's your number one there, Jordan?
My number one's probably going to be obvious because I've talked about it ad nauseum, but it's got to be Corey and Topanga. That's my number one favorite show of all time. Just almost every single moment where they have like a good kind of heartfelt anything together just gives me chills every single time. Like they just have such good chemistry and they're just they're example of what every couple should be, especially growing up. I mean and just to kind of show that you can watch literally anyone. It appeals to young people and can appeal to old people. You can watch it with your grandparents. You can watch it with young children. I mean, there's just so many moments, and it's just hard for me to even pick my favorite moment, honestly, because there's just so many just great and amazing moments, and so I mean, just just Corey and Topanga. They're my number one. I mean, I've already gone on and on and on about them before. Like probably to like to the chagrin of like my entire family. They've heard me like talk about Boy Meets World so much. So yeah.
So I have my favorite Corey and Topanga moment. It's not a funny moment or anything. It's just shows just how deep their love is. It's when she ran away from her aunt in Pittsburgh and fell on the doorstep of Matthew's house.
That's one of mine. One of mine.
That for me right there is like they're going to be together forever.
Yep.
Yeah.
My favorite moment is when they finally got back together after the whole knowing the sea bitch problem.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which was, if I'm not mistaken, brought back in Girl Meets World.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Very subtly, but yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, very certainly. Which is like, by my way, my mom says hi or something.
Yeah, my mom said, and then this is her reaction.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of great relationships on that show, but the reason why I didn't include them on my list, they would have been top 10, is because I knew we would already be talking about it, and
yep, exactly.
They're definitely their relationship definitely holds the test of time when it comes in TV history for sure.
No doubt.
Yeah, especially for people in our generation, our age group, which I think you're part of 50. I'm actually not 100% sure.
I'm 27.
Okay, you're just just a bit younger than us.
Yeah. I mean, like I said earlier, I mean, I don't think it was broadcast where I am, at least not on any channel that I was watching at the time. So
yeah. And that's funny when you look back on the history of Corey and Topanga, like when they first met, they couldn't have been any more opposite, because she was like earthy and hippie, and then they come back in season 2 and she's not like that.
Right. Yep. Yeah. They kind of
was it season 2 or was it season 3?
Season 2.
When they entered high school.
Season 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, change in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like for some reason, like I don't know why this episode randomly sticks out to me, but like there's like so many moments where like Corey's just trying to think of the perfect thing to do to like try to impress her. So they have the whole moment where like he thinks that it's gonna be the time that they're gonna sleep together, and so
that was like wasn't it?
Yeah, so like he like plans this whole entire date where like he's like candles set up, he even has grapes on the bed and everything. But then she says no, like I love you so much, I don't want to ruin that. I want to actually do it when the time's right, and I don't want to be forced into it. And like just the whole way that they went about all of that, they didn't like move too fast, but they didn't move too slow. They moved at like the perfect pace that just worked. I mean, it was just like the way they did everything just worked out perfectly. Like I feel like if they would have rushed things, maybe it wouldn't have worked. If they would have gone too slow, it wouldn't have worked. It was just perfect.
Yeah, it's a great example to show kids.
Yep, exactly. I agree.
Okay.
All right.
What is your number 150?
Okay. I was wondering if anyone was even going to consider this, but apparently no one did. So here goes. Fred Flintstone.
Oh, fuck.
And Wilma.
Okay.
Wilma Flintstone and Fred Flintstone.
Never even crossed my mind.
Yeah, I thought that was going to happen. I didn't think anyone would think about it, but it's easy to forget. It's a sitcom.
It is.
Animated. It's in the Stone Age. It's a sitcom. Like, no matter which way you slice it.
Even got the laugh track.
Yeah, even got the laugh track.
Yep.
And at one point I was considering Barney and Betty.
Yeah.
The whole series.
Nice. But yeah, Wilma and Fred are, like I said, the iconic couple of that show. Similar to how in Big Bang Theory and in Friends, they had 3 different couples, but they always had the one that was like the signature one of that show. Wilma and Fred are the iconic one, and yeah, they really did set a lot of trends for other couples to follow, especially animated couples. And I believe I wouldn't be surprised if the Simpsons creators took some inspiration from their relationship when designing Marge and Homer.
They're the I Love Lucy of the animated world.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird to think about it, but even though they live in the Stone Age, they're a nuclear couple. They're a nuclear family. A mom, a dad, a child, a dog, and a cat in a house. And the dad has a nice job. The woman stays at home and looks after the child and cleans up. It's a nuclear family, or at least the idea of a nuclear family back in the 50s and 60s.
And that's another show that does still stand the test of time. Like we're still talking about what, 60 years after. Can you believe that's over 50 years after it aired?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Unbelievable.
I'll be honest. I like the movie. I like the show.
Live action movie?
Me too. I saw it a couple years ago, and yeah, it's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I haven't
Now,
seen
we
it
know
in a
Rock
while.
Vegas is a
Rewatch.
totally different story, but the first one, yes.
Yeah, I never saw that one. And I will never see that one.
Yeah. No, but yeah, the more I think about it, like it really has a lot of like similarities to I Love Lucy, like even to like Wilma, I'm home. It's like just like I Love Lucy.
Wilma!
Yeah.
Yep.
And like the relationship between Barney and Fred is Ed and Norton from the Honeymooners to a T.
Oh yeah. Yeah. There you go.
And I just looked it up. The first episode aired in 1960. So it is a 60-year-old cartoon that we are still talking about.
And I believe it was a primetime show, right?
Yeah, it was ABC primetime. Yeah.
Primetime.
It was the first of its kind.
It was also the first incident that I ever saw that on any TV show that when the man screws up, he sleeps on the couch or in a lot of cases, he gets locked out of the house. That happened to Fred like a surprising amount.
Oh, yeah.
But that happened in the end credits all the time.
Oh, yeah. You have every end credit.
It's funny, on the DVD, they actually put in the original opening and the original closing.
Okay.
It's not the one that we all know of.
Oh, it's not.
It's not. It's I'll see if I can actually bring it up. We should be able to play it on this, I think, eh?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Maybe better after the show, so we won't, get into some
Oh,
trouble.
no, I mean, I'm not going to play all of it, but
Yeah.
it's the actual original intro is actually a theme song called "Rise and Shine" that they actually use quite a bit in the show. Okay, here we go.
For what your special delivery arrives.
Stupid ads.
After the ad, yep.
So this is the original intro.
I've never seen this.
September 30th.
See this.
Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's like different music and everything.
Yeah.
I think I remember this music.
It appears throughout some of this episodes.
Yeah.
I just love how all the bridges look like Stonehenge.
Yep. Love all the parody stuff involving dinosaurs and like saber-toothed tigers and all that stuff.
It was before people knew that dinosaurs lived millions of years before humans.
Right.
Actually, I think that was the opening for every episode that I've watched, or at least
Maybe it might have aired, maybe. But I mean, like a lot of times in syndication, it's the later, one where
totally different. Yeah.
and then went to the
where it's Flintstones, Meet the Flintstones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That wasn't until later.
I definitely remember that opening from a lot of episodes that I've watched.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of funny when you think about the opening. They're going to a drive-in, which has never been more relevant today.
Yeah.
Right.
It's funny to think about these things 50 years later.
Yeah.
60 years later.
Yeah, I know it. So on that sense, that it brings an end to the show. Now, before we go, our usual co-host Soul isn't here. Well, it was not here, but she actually sent us her personal top 5 sitcoms, sitcom couple. So I'm going to read them out real quick. Number 5 was Eric and Donna from That 70s Show. Yes, I'd agree. They're a great couple.
Yeah.
Number 4 was Ben and Leslie from Parks and Rec. Number 3, I've never heard of this show. Steph and Lena from The Fosters. Has anybody ever heard of this show?
I've heard of I've heard of it. I know that I think that it originally aired on ABC and then it got moved over to like Freeform. I think it airs over there.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's
I've never watched it.
Her number 2 was Luke and Lorelai from Gilmore Girls.
Ooh,
My wife would actually love that. She's a diehard Gilmore Girl.
And number 1 is the same as yours, Jordan, Corey, and Topanga.
Nice. She's smart.
Yeah. And Ben, if you want to cue it up, I'm also going to announce that she's actually got a new show of her own airing on this network called Soul Talk, where she brings on a guest and they talk about what movie they've recently watched, what book they've recently read, or anything else that they've actually done recently or listened to recently. That could be whatever. It's a good show. I've seen the first episode, and definitely check it out. It's gonna do good. She's every week is a different guest. And definitely check it out. The first episode drops on Wednesday, November 11th at 4 p.m. Pacific time and 7 p.m. Eastern time. So be sure to look out for that link and like and click, that whole shebang.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. And so when it comes to the top 5, I get to announce next week's topic, and I'm going with top 5 historical movies. Now, the one caveat I have, the movie has to take place before Vietnam.
Before Vietnam. Okay, so
Before Vietnam.
that's like
That's going to rule out Forrest Gump. That's going to rule out actually it's going to rule out a lot of different movies just because
Forrest Gump takes place over multiple historical events.
right. But I mean,
So I wouldn't count it anyway.
I did that because I think there's a lot of historical movies that take place before that really don't get much talk about. So
So
That's
is
why-
that-
it was like late 60s, early 70s, pretty much. Is that?
well, no, not when it was made, just when the movie takes place.
Yeah, right.
The time period.
does that rule out X-Men Origins Wolverine?
Sorry, what was that?
X-Men, never mind.
Okay.
X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Oh,
No, I mean like an epic movie, or that's what I'm thinking of, like epic scale.
I'm only kidding.
Yeah, I know. So that's my choice for the next week. So I'm actually curious to see what everybody's list is.
Okay.
So on that sense, Ben, where can everybody find you?
You can find. Oh, one more thing.
Oh,
We're going to be on Saturday next week. Not Sunday.
that's correct. Yes.
oh yeah.
Yeah, the reason why we're doing a special day next week is because on Sunday, on Ben's show Mount Schmodown and my other show Schmoes of the North, we're actually appearing in the 24-hour, what's it called, the Smash-a-thon.
Yeah.
We're going to be raising money for Kevin Smets's cancer treatment, and a whole whackload of Schmodown reactors and stuff are all going to be participating. We're all given our own hour of the show. I'm on at 7, I believe it's 7 a.m. on Sunday, and Ben is actually right after me.
Yeah.
So definitely check into that. If
Canadian phrase, the whole
Sorry?
whackload. I never heard that phrase before. A whole whackload of people.
a Canadian thing then.
Oh,
But yeah,
anyway,
if you can't donate, that's cool. Just share the link, spread the word. Do anything you can to help. It is very much appreciated. We'll see you there, and we're definitely looking forward to it.
awesome. I'm
because-
excited to
because
see that.
Smets is he's one of us, and what do we do when you fall down? You learn to pick yourself up, and that's what we're doing.
Yep, we take care of our family for sure.
Exactly.
Take care of
So
our-
Ben, where can everybody find you?
You can find me at BenRader2. Right here on the MediaSweaty's YouTube channel and on Mount Schmodown.
All right, 50. Where can everybody find you?
All right, you can find me, first of all, at my Twitter handle, even though I barely use it, at shades_geek. You can find me on my YouTube channel and my second gaming channel, 50 Shades of Geek and 50 Shades of Gaming. My daily Pokemon Go show is currently on hiatus because my phone is busted, so I can't play it right now.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, I took it to the lab today. Hopefully, they'll come back to me with an answer tomorrow. And you can also find me on Twitch. Occasionally, my stream went dead halfway through while I was playing last night. So yeah, I've been having some problems with the internet recently. So yeah, but I'm at Twitch at 50 Shades O Geek with no F after the O.
All right, and Jordan, how about you?
So for me, I actually have a little bit of an announcement. So I was going to announce I also have a new show coming up that's going to be called Blind Spots. I did a little teaser in the Facebook group you can see, but actually Matt was my first guest. We did a breakdown of the movie The Thing from 1982. So essentially, what I'm going to be doing, so I just picked one, a movie that I haven't seen before to kind of kick off the first episode. But essentially, I've compiled a list of all of my blind spots, and trust me, I have some huge blind spots that like even shocked me as to why certain movies I have not watched it. So I'm going to have some polls going up every 2 weeks in the Facebook group, and then I'm gonna have 10 movies that at random from my list in a poll, and then on the top 2 vote getters over the course of 2 weeks, I'm gonna watch the movie, and then I'm gonna do a review. So it'll be me and then a rotating guest that I kind of feel like really fits that particular movie. But the goal is to really get all of the fans involved on it. So if there's any that you really want me to see, if you want to torture me and you want me to see something terrible, I mean, either way, it's up to you guys to decide. So that's going to be actually premiering every Friday at 12:30 Pacific time. So the thought behind that is that as soon as SDN Live ends, you can jump over and you can check out blind spots. So I'm going to have that, and then I also have my own YouTube channel that's called Movie Hero, and actually we're filming an episode tonight of my show Tier Ranker Movie Fights, and so we're going to be breaking down the greatest movie franchises of all time. So they have to be movie franchises that have at least 3 in the series. So and we're going to be ranking them on a scale of A, B, C, D, E, F, just from best to worst. And so yeah, I'll be doing that. That'll be at actually I'm sorry, we had to push that just a little bit on the time, so it'll be 5:30 Pacific time tonight is where you can find that over on the Movie Hero channel. So and yeah, so I'm just gonna talk about YouTube today. So yeah, definitely tune in.
All right, and you can find me, as it says right above my head, it's soda_the_saxmount on Instagram and Twitter. You can find me over, like Ben said, over on Thursdays on Shooting the Breeze. And or did you say that?
No, I forgot.
Okay, well, I'm saying it. You can find me and Ben over on Thursdays on Shooting the Breeze. Our most recent guest was Jay Wade, and we actually had a good talk about history, which was actually a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And of course, you can find me here every Sunday and Get Sweaty. You can find me over at the Schmoes of the North YouTube channel, where we break down the weekend and Schmodown, and where we have our show Northern Consultations, where we invite somebody who's generally involved in one form or another with the Schmodown, and we talked to them for an hour. And our most recent episode was with the Misfits, who played this week in the play-in match, and it was a great, fun episode. We even played the Newlywed Game with them, so definitely check that out. So, yeah. Did you watched it, didn't you, Jordan?
Yeah. So I was gonna say, yeah, that was a hilarious episode. Just having the two of them together, just like they're really good combination. Yeah, they're like totally complement each other perfect. So
right, and we even had episodes with them separately that you guys should check out. But like my personal favorite was the one with Adam Wick, because that was just a freaking riot. So yeah, on behalf of everybody, I would like to say thank you for those of you who joined us, or those of you who are going to check it out in the future. Like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Help spread the word. And so long, everybody, and don't forget, smash cancer.
Yep, and stay sweaty.
That too.